The story kicks off on the day of a massive birthday bash for the patriarch of the Wong family, the most influential clan in the entire city. All the city's heavy hitters are there for the extravagant celebration. That's when Rosie, known as the town's greatest beauty, makes her entrance with her family. A nearby young master scoffs, "What's the point of all that beauty and talent if she's just going to throw it away on some hick from the sticks? Any one of us would have been a better choice than that loser she picked." As Rosie heads for the entrance, another pompous young master steps in her path, saying, "Miss Mang Rosie, this isn't some public park where you can just wander in. This is the Wong family's birthday party, the most exclusive event in the city. Without an invitation, you can't even get close to the gate. If you had married me, you could have walked in here with your head held high. But no, you had to choose that peasant, such Chen. Marrying him is a one-way ticket to a life of shame." Rosie completely ignores him and presents her invitation to the guard. The guard examines it and says, "My apologies, miss, but I don't recognize this type of card. I'll have to check with my manager to see if it's legitimate." Rosie's brow furrows, but Chen brought this invitation himself. There's no way it could be fake. The young master lets out a derisive laugh. "Ha, this is what happens when you put your faith in a country bumpkin. Trying to sneak into the Wong family's party with a phony invitation. How pathetic. If you were with me, you wouldn't be facing this embarrassment." Even Rosie's own mother chimes in. "Rosie, just go with young Masterly. Forget about such Chen. He's worthless." But Rosie holds her ground, declaring, "I don't care what any of you say. I have complete faith in such Chen. And as for you, young Masterly, stay out of it. Say another word, and I promise you'll regret it." Young Masterly sneers and lunges for Rosie, but before his hand can even touch her, Chen materializes, seizing his wrist. Chen speaks with an icy tone, "How dare you lay a hand on my wife? Honestly, I wasn't planning on wasting my time with scum like you, but you forced my hand. You're not even worth the effort." Young Masterly, red with fury, shouts, "Teach this punk a lesson. I'll wipe that arrogant smirk off his face today." At that very moment, the Wong family's butler emerges, flanked by 20 armed guards. The butler's sharp voice rings out, "Who dares cause a scene and disrespect the Wong family's guest of honor? Had you offended our family patriarch, we might have been able to overlook it this one time, but to offend Master Such Chen, our esteemed guest, that is an unforgivable insult. Please accept our deepest apologies, Master Such Chen. We were unaware you would be gracing our humble event with your presence. The head of the family has been eagerly awaiting your arrival inside. Please, come in." Everyone is completely floored. The Wong family, the most powerful force in the city, just called him their divine guest. They don't show this level of reverence even to other major families. So who exactly is this Such Chen? And why would the city's most sought-after woman pick a simple guy from the countryside over all the elite bachelors? What is his real identity? That's a question the story will answer as it unfolds. Now, as our tale truly begins, we see our main character, Such Chen, who begins to narrate, "I was only 10 years old when my entire family was annihilated. I was weak, helpless, powerless to do a thing. But then, an old man found me and saved my life. He brought me to my master. From that day on, I lived with him in the mountains for 10 long years. For an entire decade, I trained relentlessly. Every single day, waiting for this very moment. My master even told me recently that there's nothing left for him to teach me. Now, the time has finally come to descend from the mountain and confront those who destroyed my life." Before Chen departed, his master gave him one last piece of advice. "Before you seek your vengeance, you must first repay the kindness of those who helped you in your time of need." Chen thinks to himself, "Honestly, even if my master hadn't said a word, I would have gone straight to the old man who saved me. He's the only family I have left." The scene changes to a funeral. The old man's body rests inside a coffin, and a group of thugs are menacingly standing over it. One of them snarls, "We heard the Wong family sent you an invitation. Hand it over nice and quiet, or we'll be having not one, but 3 funerals here today. And the best part? There won't be anyone left to carry the coffins. Come on, what are 2 women going to do against all of us? Hand it over." Nearby, onlookers whisper amongst themselves. It hasn't even been 2 hours since the head of the Mang family passed away, and their rivals are already circling like vultures. The Mang family's dream group has always been in fierce competition with the Jiang family's excellence group, but while the head was alive, they never dared to touch them. Now that he's gone, they've come straight to take the invitation, the one that holds the key to the family's future. Poor Mang family, they're doomed. No one would dare go against the Jiang family, someone mutters quietly. "God, please send someone to help them." The thug hears and scoffs, "Pray all you want. Even if your gods came down themselves, they couldn't save you. There's no hero coming to the rescue. Those only exist in fairy tales." Just then, the main gate bursts open, and Chen walks in. The thugs turn and sneer. "Who's this beggar? Did you come here to ask for food? Leave before you get caught in the mess. This family's finished." Chen replies coldly, "Oh, you think this family is doomed? Then I'd love to see who dares destroy it while I'm still here." In a flash, Chen grabs one of the thugs and throws him hard into the house wall. The injured man screams in rage, "Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you attack us? As the thug lunges forward to attack, Suchin steps in and says coldly, looks like you don't even recognize your father. For such a big mistake, I'll have to finish you off myself. The thug growls, how the hell did this beggar get in? I had 20 bodyguards stationed outside. You useless fools couldn't even stop one man. Suchin smirks and replies, oh, you mean those piles of trash lying outside? Sorry, I didn't realize they were bodyguards. I thought they were punching bags, so I might have hit them a little too hard. The thug snarls, you're acting too arrogant. Everyone who's tried to act tough in front of Lehigh couldn't even stand on their own 2 feet afterward. Before he can finish, Suchin punches him hard, sending him flying. Suchin says calmly, step aside, you're blocking the air. Rosie steps forward alarmed. Who are you and what's your real purpose here? Suchin ignores her. Kneeling beside the old man, he mutters, damn, I'm too late. Grandpa, forgive me. But then he notices faint breathing. Suchin says, Grandpa isn't dead. He's been poisoned. He's half dead, but it's not too late. I can still save him. Rosie shouts from behind, what are you doing? Leave my grandfather's body alone. Before she can stop him, Suchin pulls out a silver needle and inserts it into the old man's head. The doctor in the room gasps, I can't believe what I'm seeing. That's the great immortal needle, the legendary needle said to bring the dead back to life. A moment later, the old man coughs violently, taking a deep breath. Everyone in the room freezes in shock. Suchin exhales in relief. Good, I wasn't too late. The doctor checks the old man's pulse and says, amazed. His pulse is perfectly steady. In fact, I'd say his body seems 20 years younger now. The old man looks up weakly and says, Dr. Lee, you saved me. Dr. Lee quickly shakes his head. No, sir. I'm not capable of pulling someone back from the gates of death. It was this young man. He used the immortal technique on you. Without him, you wouldn't have survived. Suchin smiles slightly and says, Grandpa, I hope you haven't forgotten me. The old man's eyes fill with tears. Suchin, my child, you've returned. Suchin nods. Yes, I'm back, and I promise you no harm will ever come to this family again. Later that morning during breakfast, the family gathers together. The old man says fondly, 10 years ago, when we adopted you, there was a prophecy that one day you would protect our family, and today you've proven it true. You've grown into a fine, strong, and handsome young man. Tell me, how's your master? Didn't he come with you? Suchin laughs slightly. You know him? He's probably drunk somewhere right now. Before I left the mountains, he told me one thing. Visit the Mang family first. And he was right. Coming here was the right choice. The old man nods and says, seriously, there's something important I need to tell you. Your master made me promise that once you returned after 10 years of training, I would arrange your marriage to my granddaughter. At that moment, Rosie's mother interrupts sharply, Dad, what are you saying? Rosie is now the CEO of our company. She's been running it ever since you fell ill. She's an accomplished woman. She can marry anyone she wants. And you want to pair her with a countryside boy? How could you even think he's worthy of her? Suchin smirks and says quietly, Grandpa, to be honest, she's kind of right. The old man slams the table and shouts, Diana, do you even think before you speak? Do you know who Suchin really is? Rosie is my granddaughter. So I'll keep this respectful, but understand this clearly. Marrying Suchin is her fortune. Any woman Suchin lays his hand on would be lucky to have him. You have no idea. Even the scraps left behind by such Chen's master are worth more than our entire family, he thinks to himself. She doesn't know the truth that such Chen is the successor of one of the most powerful masters in the world. Grandpa then smiles and says, Now Suchin, tell me, do you agree to this marriage? Before Suchin can respond, Rosie enters the room. Grandpa, did you call me? Suchin looks at her closely for the first time and thinks, I was in such a hurry before. I didn't notice, but she's actually stunning. Grandpa laughs. Suchin, what do you think of your bride? Rosie blushes slightly and says, Wait, are you saying this is the Suchin I knew as a kid? He's changed so much. But how did you heal Grandpa like that? She thinks to herself, 10 years ago, Grandpa saved such Chen's life, and now 10 years later, he returned to save us. There's definitely something special about him. Honestly, I think I like him. Suchin chuckles. Don't get too excited. It was just a bit of handwork, nothing special. Rosie laughs. You're not only strong, you're funny too, Grandpa interrupts. Rosie, where are you going? Rosie smiles slightly and says, I just signed the registration form. Our marriage is official now. Isn't that what you wanted, Grandpa? Grandpa claps his hands joyfully. Ha ha, these youngsters work fast nowadays. We've both done the right thing. Meanwhile, Suchin thinks to himself, I thought the first thing I'd do after leaving the mountain would be to take revenge, but instead, I ended up getting married. Well, to be honest, Rosie's beautiful, so I can't really complain. Diana grabbed Rosie's arm and pulled her aside, saying sharply, Come here, I need to talk to you. Have you completely lost your mind? Do you even know who Suchin is? He's just a backward village boy. Look at his clothes. No fashion sense, no manners, no class. How could someone like him ever be your equal? Rosie replied calmly, Mom, I know exactly what I'm doing. Everything you mentioned, style, manners, refinement, he can learn those with time. But saving Grandpa the way he did, that's something none of us could ever do in a lifetime. I've never seen Grandpa this happy. If marrying Suchin brings him joy, then I'm more than willing to do it. After all, it's the least I can do for his happiness. Besides, I trust Suchin completely. Diana frowned deeply and said bitterly, "You've been under your grandfather's influence since childhood, and now you're just blinded by it. Mark my words, this villager will never be worthy of being part of the Mang family. Sooner or later, you'll throw him out of the house yourself." Later, Grandpa said to Such Chen, "You've just returned to the city, so I assume you don't have work yet. How about helping Rosie with her company? After all, you both will manage it together in the future. I'll start you with an annual salary of $300,000. If you need anything else, just let me know." Sushin thought to himself, the poison in Grandpa's body hasn't completely left yet. It'll take time to remove the rest, and I still need to find the person who poisoned him. It must be someone close to the family, because the poison has been administered gradually over time. I'll need to stay nearby acting naturally to investigate everything properly. Later, Suchin arrived at the company. He thought, once I'm done with work, I'll meet Dr. Lee about some herbs. Honestly, I'm just sitting here. They haven't even given me any real tasks yet. Just then, Diana walked in with a smug smile. "Oh, so you're here. Take this, a check for $5 million and get out." Suchin looked at her and said, "So, 1 year of work earns me $300,000, but leaving immediately earns me $5 million? Tell me, mother-in-law, why are you being so generous all of a sudden?" Diana snapped. "Don't call me mother-in-law. I don't know what kind of trick you've used to charm Rosie and my father, but I don't like you, not even one bit. Take the money and disappear from our lives forever. I don't ever want to see you near the Mang family again." Diana thought to herself, smirking. He's a mountain boy. 5 million is a fortune for someone like him. He'll definitely take it and vanish. But to her shock, Suchin took the check and tore it in half. He said firmly, 5 million? Even if you offer me the entire Mang family fortune, it's all the same to me. Look, I get that money makes the world go round, but to me, it's just paper. Diana balled her hands into fists, fuming internally. This kid is way too clever. He's playing the long game, knowing he'll get his hands on everything through Rosie eventually. That's why he's turning down the cash now. But I've got huge plans for Rosie's future. If she doesn't marry rich, how am I supposed to upgrade my own life? This smug little punk thinks he's so smart. I'll show him. A fake smile spread across her face as she said, "All right then, since you're officially part of our company now, let's get you started on your first assignment." She then turned to her secretary. "Secretary Liu, are those documents prepared?" The secretary gave a quick nod. "Yes, ma'am." Diana then passed a file to Suchin. "Take a good look at these. It states right here that the Tian Trading Company owes us a cool $10 million. Your job is to go with Secretary Liu and collect that debt. Rosie usually handles this stuff, but she's swamped at the moment. I'm sure a capable young man like you can wrap this up in no time." Secretary Liu looked nervous, thinking to herself, what is the madam playing at? The Tian Trading Company has the Wong family backing them. The last guy we sent to collect that money came back with a few new joints bending the wrong way. He's still laid up in a hospital bed, and now she's throwing this rookie at them. What on earth is going to happen to him? Meanwhile, Suchin just gave a slight smile and said, "Don't you worry about a thing. I'll get the money. But, mother-in-law, when I walk back in here with it, you're going to have to bow and give me a sincere apology." Dinah shot back, "Fine. It's a deal." And with that, she stormed out of the room. Just as Secretary Liu was getting ready to head out, Suchin suddenly asked, "Do you get those sharp stomach pains often?" She stopped dead in her tracks. "How? How could you possibly know that?" Suchin answered nonchalantly, "I can give you a quick massage. It'll only run you 8,000 yuan, and I guarantee that pain will vanish for good." Liu's face soured as she snapped back, "You are such a creep," and she promptly walked off. Suchin let out a sigh, wondering, what did I say wrong? All right, if she doesn't want the massage, her loss. She could just drink the herbal tea I was going to recommend every morning. That would clear up the pain, too, Suchin mused to himself. You know, my master always said the skills he taught me were priceless, and that the people down in the city would be incredibly grateful for my help. A bitter smile touched Suchin's lips. But all I get for trying to help is being called a pervert. Right at that moment, Rosie walked into the office and saw Secretary Liu's bright red face. "Secretary Liu, why are you so flushed?" "Anyway, I'm glad I caught you, Suchin. We have to go to the Wong family's party this evening. Here, take this card and some cash. Go buy yourself a decent suit. I want you to look sharp for the event." A small smile played on Suchin's face as he thought, the mother might be a monster, but the daughter is a real sweetheart. A little while later, Suchin showed up at Dr. Lee's clinic. The moment he walked in, he saw a man absolutely wailing on Dr. Lee. The man was yelling, "I thought you were some kind of miracle worker, but you're nothing but a total fraud. You declared the old man from the Mang family dead, and he was still breathing. If he hadn't woken up right before they put him in the ground, they would have buried him alive, all thanks to you. And now, my father, you've been treating him for 15 days straight, and he hasn't gotten any better. I was suspicious before, but now I know for sure you're just a dirty, rotten quack. Dr. Lee pleaded, Mr. Wong, please, you have to understand. Your father's illness is incredibly severe. There's absolutely no way to cure him in only 15 days. Wong cut him off, snarling. You expect me to buy that pathetic excuse? Get real. You're not laying another finger on my father. I've already moved him to the main hospital. I'm not about to let your incompetence finish him off. It was at that exact moment that Suchin stepped into the room and spoke in a calm, steady voice. Brother, you need to calm down. Doctors always give everything they have to save a patient, but you have to remember, they're only human, and every human has their limits. Just because a family member doesn't get better, that doesn't give you the right to get physical with their doctor. Wong shot him a death glare and yelled, Who the hell do you think you are? Stay out of my family's business. Dr. Lee quickly jumped in. That's the divine doctor, Suchin. He's the one who brought the old master of the Mang family back from the brink. If anyone on this planet can save your father, it's him. Suchin replied humbly, Dr. Lee, you're flattering me. Wong stared at him, completely unconvinced. This kid, you're telling me he's some kind of legendary doctor? A little while later, Suchin went with Wong to the hospital. On the way, Wong warned him, Listen, kid, I'm giving you exactly 1 day. If my father doesn't show improvement by tomorrow, I swear I'll make both you and Dr. Lee regret it. Dr. Lee immediately objected, Mr. Wong, 1 day is nowhere near enough time. Your father's condition is critical. There's nothing significant we can accomplish in just 24 hours. Suchin flashed a confident grin. For this, I only need 15 minutes. The moment this needle goes in, even the most critical conditions will start to disappear. True to his word, he swiftly placed a needle into the old man's head. Just moments later, Wong's father erupted into a violent coughing fit, blood spilling from his mouth. Wong cried out in a panic, Dad, what's wrong? Why are you coughing up blood? I knew I shouldn't have trusted these quacks. They've only made you worse. Somebody get another doctor, now. You two are going to pay for this. We'll be seeing each other again, and I promise it won't be a friendly visit. Suchin replied calmly, You obviously care a great deal for your father, so I'll give you one last chance. Come and apologize to me within 3 days. What I just did will grant your father some temporary relief, but if you want a complete recovery, you're going to need me. Wong shot back. We'll see who comes crawling back to whom. As Wong sped away, he fumed to himself. All these so-called traditional doctors are phonies. I never should have brought Dad here. But then, a voice came from the back seat. His father spoke weakly. Son, just a little while ago, I was in excruciating pain, but now, it's gone. It's completely gone. I feel strength returning to my body like I'm healing at an incredible rate. Wong was floored. Dad, are you serious? You really feel better? His father nodded. Yes, I can feel my body healing. That doctor, he actually saved me. Son, listen to me. We have to thank him properly. All the other doctors gave up on me. The man who just treated me isn't just some doctor. He's a miracle worker. We owe him everything. Wong thought to himself, a wave of shock washing over him. Wait a minute. The guy I just threatened was a legendary doctor? I've made a terrible mistake. Later, outside the Dream Group building, Suchin reflected, I got all the herbs I needed from Dr. Lee. With these, I can finally make that potent medicine for Grandpa. Just then, a car pulled up beside him. Rosie leaned out and said, Suchin, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to go buy yourself some nice clothes. Suchin rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. Ah, sorry. It slipped my mind, he said, thinking to himself. I spent all the cash on herbs. Rosie just sighed. Fine, just get in the car. As he got in, young Master Lee, sitting up front, turned around and sneered. Rosie, since when do you hang around with peasants? Who is this hillbilly? A girl next to him chimed in mockingly. I heard a rumor you were already married, Rosie. Don't tell me this is your husband. Young Master Lee burst out laughing. Ha! What a joke. Everyone knows Rosie is way too focused on her career to even think about marriage. Besides, she's the pride of the Mang family. When she finally does get married, it'll be to someone from a top-tier family, not some nobody from the sticks. Rosie cut in firmly. Actually, you're wrong. I am married, and this is my husband, Suchin. If you want to gossip, do it amongst yourselves. I'm going to get some rest. The group gasped. What? You married this? Peasant? Suchin spoke up. Didn't you hear the lady? She's trying to rest. So why are you all being so loud? Young Master Lee scowled. I was talking to Rosie. And who gave you permission to butt in? Suchin's voice was ice. You were talking at times my wife, and she clearly has no interest in talking to you. So do us all a favor and shut your trap. Young Master Lee's fists tightened in fury. A villager dares to tell me to shut up, he thought. I'm going to teach this punk a lesson. A nasty smirk spread across his face. Good thing I still have that ice needle on me. One little poke with this, and he'll lose complete control of his body. Then we'll see who's laughing. But Suchin caught the subtle movement instantly. So, the little coward is trying to use an ice needle. What a dirty trick. With a flick of his wrist, Suchin sent the needle flying right back at Lee. The girl in the front seat shrieked. Young Master Lee, what was that? Startled, Rosie asked. What's happening? Why is everyone screaming? The girl stammered. Young Master Lee? He wet his pants. A moment later, as everyone piled out of the car, they muttered in disgust. Ugh, gross. Young Master Lee had completely lost control of his functions, soiling the car seat. Suchin just smirked to himself, thinking, that's what you get for trying to pull a fast one on me. Rosie said calmly, Lee, go get yourself changed. Don't worry about the car, you can deal with it later. Suchin, however, couldn't resist a jab. Brother Lee, he began with a grin. What happened there? Having a little trouble holding it in? You should have just said something, we would have pulled over. Why'd you have to? Well, let it all go like that. Seething with humiliation, young Master Lee yelled, You jerk. Suchin, I'll make you pay for this. But before he could even take a step forward, Suchin slammed the gate shut and taunted. Nope, not yet. Don't come any closer until you've changed your undies. A suspicious Rosie asked. Suchin, did you have something to do with this whole mess? Suchin just played it cool. Nah, I didn't lift a finger. That was all Lee's doing. But hey, don't sweat it. I'll whip up a special medicine for him that'll help him keep it in his pants from now on. Rosie's brow furrowed. Then why did he come after you before? Suchin just shrugged. Beats me, you'd have to ask him. Rosie let out a sigh. Look, just try not to get on his bad side for now. With Grandpa no longer running the company, things have been a little tough for us. The Lee family has really been helping us out, and we only got that invitation to the Long family's party because of their connections. We still need them. Suchin thought to himself. She's telling me not to get on his bad side, but I think we're way past that point. Lee stormed off, shouting arrogantly. Rosie, I really thought our companies had a future together. But with a guy like Suchin hanging around, I don't see how we can ever cooperate. And if we're not partners, why should we be going to the same parties? You can forget about that invitation to the Wong family's event. Rosie was floored. What in the world just happened? Now they'd lost the Wong family invitation and blown their good standing with the Lee family. Suchin just smiled, trying to calm her down. Hey, don't worry about it. Losing their backing isn't as big of a deal as you think. Anyway, I'm about to head over to the Tion Trading Company and pick up the 10 million they owe us. Rosie's eyes went wide. What? How do you even know about the Tion family? Listen to me, and listen good. You are not to go over there. Suchin replied with determination. If I don't go, how am I ever going to make your mother bow down to me? I am dying to see that woman swallow her pride. And to do that, I need to get this done. Don't you worry. Before this day is over, that money is going to be sitting in your bank account. Rosie warned, don't you dare go alone. Take Secretary Lu with you, and no matter what happens, do not get into a fight. Suchin flashed a playful grin. My beautiful wife said, no fighting. Now, why would I ever go against her wishes? A short time later, Suchin and Secretary Lu showed up at the Tion Trading Company. The boss of the company sneered, well, look who's here for the money. I'll tell you what, if this pretty little secretary of yours comes to work for me for a week and makes me real happy, then I might just consider paying you back. Otherwise, you could forget about seeing a single dime. So, what's it gonna be? Suchin's face went cold. I had a feeling you'd say something vile like that. Let me give you a little warning. If I don't walk out of here with that money today, you won't be walking out of here at all. The boss roared with laughter. Oh, you've got some nerve. Threatening me in my own office, in front of my own men? Guards, show this clown how we do things around here. The guards moved in, looking tough. You picked the wrong day to mess with our boss. We're gonna snap your legs like twigs. But before they could even blink, Suchin moved like a blur, taking them all down without breaking a sweat. Right as the last man fell, Mr. Wong walked into the room. Divine Dr. Su, I finally found you. The boss's face went ghost white. Mr. Wong, what are you doing here? Wong demanded sternly. What is all this? The boss started stammering, oh, it's nothing, sir. Just a little misunderstanding. This guy was stirring up trouble. I was just about to toss him out. I'm so sorry you had to witness this. Just give me 2 minutes, sir, and I'll have this mess cleaned up. Wong completely ignored him and turned to Suchin with a respectful smile. Divine Doctor, it is a true honor to see you at my company. You see, Tion Trading is one of our Wong Group's subsidiaries. If you ever have any issues with them, you just have to say the word. I'll handle it for you in a heartbeat. Suchin replied coolly. I don't need any help. I just came to collect a debt. Your company borrowed 10 million and then decided not to pay it back. Mr. Wong, I've heard you're a man of honor, but I have to say, I never expected your employees to behave like this. Wong's face turned to thunder. He spun around and slapped the boss so hard it echoed. You worthless idiot. How dare you disrespect the Divine Doctor? If he holds a grudge against me because of you, what in the world am I supposed to do with you? The boss dropped to his knees, trembling. Mr. Wong, I swear, I didn't know he was your guest. Please, forgive me. Wong kicked him again and yelled, This is Divine Dr. Su. You burn that name into your brain. If you cross me, I might let it slide once. But if you cross him, I will personally ruin you. Now give him every last cent of that 10 million, or I better never see your face again." The terrified boss scrambled to hand over the money. "Mr. Su, please. I'm so sorry. I'm just a blind fool who didn't recognize a titan standing before me. Here's the 10 million we owe. I'm begging you, please forgive me." Suchin's voice was ice. "Give the money to Secretary Liu. I'd rather not touch anything that's been in your hands." Mr. Wong, on the other hand, spoke with the utmost respect. "Miracle Doctor, there was something else I hope to discuss." A knowing smile played on Suchin's lips. "Let me take a wild guess. This is about your old man, right? Relax. You don't need to get on your knees or start begging. Just get me a pen and some paper, and I'll write out the prescription for him. And listen up, Mr. Wong. A real doctor never wants to see their patients suffer. But we're just people, you know? Life and death are out of our control. All we can do is try our best. So, don't you ever disrespect a doctor like that again." Mr. Wong bowed his head, saying earnestly, "I understand completely. It will never happen again." Then, Wong whipped around, slapped Madao across the face, and roared, "Are you deaf?" The master asked for a pen and paper. "Get it now." As Madao scrambled away, Suchin scribbled down the prescription and said coolly, "Make sure your father takes this 3 times a day after his meals. He'll be back on his feet in no time." Wong bowed deeply in gratitude. "Thank you, Master Su. Thank you so much." Suchin replied, "Remember this. Bad medicine and bad company should both be avoided. They'll ruin you." Wong nodded in agreement. "You're absolutely right, Master Su." "Hey, Matao, did you hear that? Now, get out of my face. You're fired. Go on, enjoy sitting at home for the rest of your pathetic life. And I'll make sure you're blacklisted. Not a single soul in this city will ever hire you again." Matao dropped to his knees, begging, "Please, Mr. Wong, just one more chance." Wong turned his back, his voice like stone. "Get this useless clown out of here. I never want to lay eyes on him again. Not near my company, not anywhere in this city." Then he spun back to Suchin, his face all smiles. "By the way, Dr. Su, today happens to be my father's 80th birthday. We're having a little get-together. It would be the greatest honor if you would join us. Here, this is our family's exclusive invitation. Only a handful of these exist. With this card, you'll be welcomed as our guest of honor." Suchin thought to himself, "Hey, all that drama and scheming for this one invitation, and now he's just handing it to me on a silver platter." He then cracked a smile and said, "Well, since you're being so sincere about it, how could I possibly say no? I'll be there. Come on, Secretary Liu, let's go." As they walked away, Mr. Wong watched them leave, thinking, "Secretary Liu, she works for Rosie Mang of the Dream Group, but now she's Dr. Su's assistant." And Suchin shows up in town and instantly cures Mang Hao. That's no coincidence. Dr. Su must be incredibly close with the Mang family. If that's the case, then the Mangs are a much bigger deal than I thought. I need to tell Dad we should pursue a business partnership with them. We can always make more money, but having a connection to someone like Dr. Su, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Meanwhile, back at the Mang family residence, Rosie's mother was furious. "I heard you got into a fight with Li Dong today." Rosie simply replied, "I did. He was being a complete jerk." Her mother shrieked, "Have you lost your mind? Do you have any idea how critical the Li family is to our business right now? How could you be so stupid as to pick a fight with them? They were supposed to get us into the Wong family's party tonight, and you just flushed that golden opportunity right down the toilet. I don't care who started it or who was right. You are going to march over there and apologize to Li Dong this instant. I'll book a table at a fancy restaurant, you'll put on a nice dress, and you will beg for his forgiveness. Maybe, just maybe, he'll find it in his heart to forgive you and still take us." Rosie finally snapped, completely fed up. "Mom, how many times do I have to say it? I can run the company on my own. You don't have to keep meddling. If I have what it takes, I'll succeed by myself. We don't need Li Dong or anybody else." Her mother just scoffed. "Oh, is that so? Then why don't you prove it? If you're such a business whiz, go get that Wong family invitation all by yourself." Right on cue, Suchin strolled into the room with a cocky grin on his face. "Well, my dear wife might not have been able to get it, but her husband did." Rosie's mother's eyes nearly popped out of her head. What? What did you just say? Is that really the Wong family's invitation? I don't believe you." Secretary Liu stepped forward respectfully. "Madam, it's the absolute truth. The president of the Wong Corporation gave it to us himself. In fact, he was incredibly respectful towards Mr. Su." Rosie's mother was completely floored. How on earth could the head of the Wong family possibly know a country bumpkin like him? "Spit it out. How much did you pay that man to put on this little show?" Secretary Liu stood her ground. "Madam, I am telling you the truth. I know you have your doubts about Mr. Su, but you can trust me. And if you need more proof, here it is. This is the $10 million check from Tian Trading. He got every last cent back for us." Suchin then added calmly, "I've held up my end of the bargain. Now, mother-in-law, it's your turn to keep your promise." Rosie's mother asked with suspicion, "Is this check even legitimate?" I still have a bad feeling about all this. Rosie, however, hugged Secretary Lu and said gratefully, I trust you both completely. Thank you so much for handling the invitation. Her mother glared and snapped, Don't be so gullible. Both the invitation and the check are obviously forgeries. I've already put a call into Li Dong. He's on his way. You're going to apologize to him tonight. Rosie's anger flared. Mom, what is your problem? How many times do I have to say it? Liang is a disgusting creep. I can't stand him, and besides, have you forgotten? I'm already married. I have such Chen, and I trust him with everything. If he says something, I know it's the truth. Come on, such Chen. Secretary Lu, we're leaving. There's no point wasting our time here, Suchin stated firmly as he turned to go. Mother-in-law, I'll let it slide this once. But the next time you see me, don't forget to bow. Rosie's mother clenched her fists, seething with rage. She thought, that insolent brat. Suchin is poisoning everyone's minds. My husband is already on his side, and now Rosie trusts him completely too. I'm positive he's put some kind of spell on her. Before this, Rosie would hang on my every word, but today, for the very first time, she completely defied me. I will find a way to kick that country bumpkin out of this house, no matter what. Wait, she shouted, I'm coming, too. The scene then shifts to Suchin and Rosie and the others arriving at the Wong family's extravagant birthday gala. Some men standing nearby whispered excitedly, I heard the head of the Wong family is going to personally pick one person from this party to be their new business partner. Whoever gets chosen will be set for life. By the way, Brother Li, where's Mang Rosie? I thought she was your girl. Didn't she come along with you? Liang laughed with arrogance. Girlfriend? You think I'd actually make her my girlfriend? You know your young master's tastes. I get bored of my playthings fast. I never stick with one for more than 2 days. She might be a prize to others, but to me, she's just a used-up toy that I've already tossed aside. Secretary Lu whispered to Rosie's mother in shock. Ma'am, did you hear what he just said? Rosie's mother responded icily. You don't need to make a scene. Besides, no one else heard it but you and me. In the business world, you have to think about the bigger picture. We can't get worked up over trivial matters like this. Then, forcing a polite smile onto her face, Rosie's mother walked over to Liang and said, Young Master Li, it's been far too long since we last saw each other. Why don't you visit our home anymore? Liang's friends began to snicker. Well, look who it is, President Mang. But without an invitation, no one is going to let you in. Unless, of course, you apologize to us. Then maybe we'll help you get inside. But if you try to sneak in and get caught, it'll be incredibly humiliating. Liang smirked. Rosie, your mother is such a kind lady. Out of respect for her, I'm even considering letting you off the hook. Just say you're sorry, and I'll forget the whole thing. Rosie's mother, smiling with hope, said, You really are such a magnanimous man. Young Master Li, Rosie, hurry up and apologize. Opportunities like this don't come around twice, but Rosie and Suchin ignored them completely and kept on walking. Suchin said with a grin, Young Master Li, how's that bladder control of yours? Earlier this morning, when you had that little accident in the car, I thought something so embarrassing shouldn't happen to you again. So, I prepared a special tonic to help you with your self-control. Oh, and I also designed a diaper that can prevent leakage up to 5 times. I call them the Sure Flow Stopper. The tonic also helps with kidney issues. Take it for 1 week and you'll completely forget the feeling of springing a leak. Everyone nearby gasped and started whispering. What? Young Master Li wet his pants? He must have some kind of serious kidney problem. No wonder Rosie kicked him to the curb. Liang's face turned beet red with rage. Suchin, you've gone too far. Meanwhile, Secretary Lu showed their invitation to the security guard. Li Dong froze in utter disbelief. What? They actually have an invitation from the Wong family? How is that even possible? The guard frowned. Sorry, ma'am, but I've never seen this kind of invitation before. Let me check with my manager. Please wait here for a moment. Liang's friends laughed mockingly. What's the point of checking? It's clearly a fake. This is so humiliating for the Mang family. They're a total disgrace. Liang said smugly, Rosie, if you had just stuck with me, none of this would have happened. You can still make this right with a simple apology. Rosie's mother chimed in. That's right, Rosie, just listen to him. I knew from the very beginning that such Chen was a nobody. You'd be better off just dumping him. Rosie shot back, furious. Mom, that's enough. Every time you open your mouth, you just embarrass me. And you, Li Dong, we were business partners. That's the only reason I ever gave you the time of day. But after all this, you've lost every last bit of respect I had for you. You're repulsive, you wet yourself in my car, made a complete mess, and didn't even try to clean it up. I was nice enough not to kick you out right then and there. But clearly, you have no clue how to save face. Honestly, the fact that a grown man like you still has accidents is just hilarious. How can you even show your face in public? Liang snarled, his voice low and angry. You said enough. It looks like you need to be taught a lesson. He lunged for her, but Suchin snatched his wrist out of the air and said coldly, That little bladder issue of yours can probably be fixed, but if I snap your hand right now, it's never going to heal properly. I'll mess you up so badly. You won't even be able to manage putting on one of those adult diapers. So, back off while you still have the choice. Liang stammered. This is outrageous. That accident last time only happened because of you. It wasn't my fault. Suchin smirked. You mean you were so terrified of me that you lost control? Liang yelled in frustration. That's not it at all. I've had enough of this. Everyone, get him. But before a single person could lay a hand on such Chen, a commanding voice boomed. Who would dare to raise a hand against an honored guest of the Wang family? Everyone turned to look. The Wang family's manager had arrived. Liang let out a nervous laugh. See, Rosie, even the Wang family shows me respect. I'm one of their honored guests. Now you see what a huge mistake you've made by crossing me. But in the very next moment, the Wang family's bodyguards seized Liang and slammed him to the ground. Liang shrieked. You've made a mistake. I'm the guest. Not that loser, such Chen. Throw him out. The manager gave a slight bow and said respectfully, My apologies for the delay, Miss Mang. Here is your invitation. Everything appears to be in order. Rosie smiled with pride. Yes, that's ours. She thought to herself, the Wang family staff usually only shows respect to the most powerful families. For their manager to personally treat us with such deference, just how important is such Chen to them? The manager then continued, We sincerely apologize for the trouble our honored guests experienced at the entrance. Please accept our apologies for this misunderstanding. The onlookers were all stunned. What? The Mang family are honored guests? But they didn't even have an invitation a minute ago. How did things change so fast? Rosie's mother whispered in disbelief, Honored guests. So, the invitation was real after all. Secretary Liu said proudly, I told you so from the very beginning. The president of the Wang family personally gave that invitation to brother such Chen, and he treated him with the highest respect. Rosie thought, an invitation so rare that practically no one ever gets one, and it was handed to such Chen personally by the head of the Wang family. Just who is such Chen, really? Meanwhile, Rosie's mother was thinking, this has to be the old man's doing. There's no other way to explain it. Then, the Wang family's manager announced coldly, Young Master Li of the Li family, you had the audacity to offend our honored guest. If you had merely insulted a regular member of the Wang family, we might have been able to let it slide, but you disrespected an individual whose status is equal to that of our own family head. Therefore, as of this moment, the Wang family is officially blacklisting the entire Li family. I trust that no member of your family will ever set foot on Wang family property again, not even accidentally. Liang stammered, his face pale with panic. How can you do this to us? Our families have been acquainted for years. The manager thought to himself, this idiot has absolutely no idea who he just picked a fight with. That invitation the Mang family is holding, it's a VVIP invitation. In the entire history of the Wang family, only 3 people have ever received one. Our code of conduct is explicit. You can offend anyone, but you must never offend the holder of a VVIP card. Their status surpasses even that of our family head. If Sachin is the one with that card, then his identity must be something truly extraordinary. Soon after, the Mang family made their entrance into the grand party. A waiter greeted them with a bow. Welcome, honored guests. Please, take your seats in the front row. A man standing nearby muttered sarcastically. Well, I never thought I'd see the day the Mang family got front row seats. I guess their patriarch isn't kicking the bucket just yet. Even if he's a total mess, their dream group is somehow still afloat. Well, soak it up while you can. Because once our excellence group inks a deal with the Wangs, you'll be nothing but a memory in the business world. Rosie grumbled under her breath. This creep, Shaoli, can he ever say something decent? Suchin noted silently. So, this clown is from the Excellence Group, the same crew that tried to jump us earlier. Rosie then turned to her secretary. Go get the gift we had fixed up for Elder Wang. The contract isn't set in stone yet. Maybe this present will sway him. Shaoli scoffed. You guys actually think you can whip out some trinket that'll impress the Wang family? Seriously, you all need to get your heads checked. If you had anything the Wangs actually wanted, you wouldn't even be in this room right now. Right on cue, someone called out, Everyone, on your feet. Elder Wang has arrived. A wave of excitement rippled through the crowd. Elder Wang is about to declare the Wang family's new partnership with the Xiao family. It's not official, but it's pretty much a done deal. Shaoli couldn't help but grin smugly. Today is Elder Wang's birthday, and he's one of the biggest shots in this city. So, as a present, I'm giving him the #1 villa in the entire city. The room erupted in gasps. What? The top villa? A legendary master architect built that place. The rumor is, anyone who lives there gets a major upgrade to their luck. We're talking wealth, happiness, the whole 9 yards. No wonder that place costs a king's ransom. The Excellence Group really pulled out all the stops. Shaoli smirked. Why? Thank you for the compliment. We just did what was fitting for a man of Elder Wang's stature. I mean, to him, that villa is probably just a cozy little cottage. That's when Rosie stood up, looking completely unfazed, and announced, I'm Mang Rosie of the Dream Group, and for Elder Wang's birthday, I've brought a masterpiece forged by the great drunken master himself. The crowd absolutely lost it. Did she just say, the drunken master? The legendary artisan who hasn't been seen in public for 10 years? His work goes for hundreds of millions, minimum. The Dream Group has been on the ropes for years. How on earth could they get their hands on one of his pieces? If what she's saying is true, then nothing else at this party even comes close in value. A piece from the drunken master is literally priceless. Suchin had to bite his tongue to keep from laughing. Why are they making such a big deal about my master? Do his trinkets really sell for billions these days? They've got to be confused. That masterpiece she's talking about? My master slapped that thing together while he was half asleep right in front of me. These city folks are so dramatic. Xiaoli let out a mocking laugh. I'll give you this. President Mang, you really went to a lot of trouble for that gift, but let's be real. It's a waste of time. It's not going to change a thing. Rosie shot back firmly. We'll see about that. Just then, Elder Wong took the stage and began warmly, Thank you, everyone, for joining me to celebrate my birthday today. On this happy occasion, I have a very important announcement to make. Xiaoli smirked to himself, full of confidence. After this, our excellence group is going to leave their little dream group in the dust, Elder Wong went on. But before I get to that, I want to offer my deepest thanks to someone very special. You could say the only reason I'm alive and standing here today is because of this person. Without them, my 80th birthday party wouldn't even be happening. Xiaoli frowned, totally confused. Who could have possibly saved Elder Wong's life? Rosie was wondering the same thing. Whoever this person is, they have to be a major player. The entire Wong family must owe them big time. Then, to the shock of everyone in the room, Elder Wong started walking straight for Suchin. Rosie's eyes went wide. Elder Wong is heading right for Suchin, and Secretary Liu did say that President Wong himself showed Suchin a great deal of respect. Could it be? Was the person who saved Elder Wong's life actually Suchin? But before she could process that thought, Suchin suddenly felt a bizarre spiritual energy in the hall. Suchin said calmly, Be right back. At the same time, he was thinking, spiritual energy coming from a regular person? That's never a good sign. I need to track down the source of this weird energy. Meanwhile, Elder Wong was thinking to himself, why did Dr. Su just get up and leave? Does he think I'm not even worthy of his time? Countless great doctors, the best in the nation, have tried to treat me, and every single one of them said my condition was incurable. But Dr. Su, with just a single needle, he cured me completely. What he did is something not even a Grandmaster level healer could pull off. If he's on a level even higher than that, well, then it all makes sense. I'm not even worthy of shaking his hand. Honestly, the fact that he didn't shake mine isn't the least bit offensive. I'm actually just relieved I didn't do anything to upset him. Maybe he just doesn't want to reveal his true identity and prefers to live a quiet life. That's probably why he left so discreetly. Even so, helping the Mang family, who are close to him, is still a way to get on his good side. If I help his people, I'm indirectly helping him. Elder Wong raised his glass warmly and said, President Mang, this toast is for you. Rosie smiled politely. Elder Wong, you're far too kind. Suchin approached a nearby object, thinking, just as I suspected. This spiritual energy is malevolent, not benevolent. Someone's trying to place a curse here, and it seems to be aimed at Elder Wong, likely for supporting the Mang family. I can't just let him get hurt. He quietly released a burst of his power and obliterated the curse. Well, I've got time to kill, and this party is a bore anyway. Now, let's see who brought a cursed artifact into this place. Meanwhile, Xiaoli was getting nervous. Since when did the Mang family get so buddy-buddy with the Wongs, sharing a drink with Elder Wong himself? That's a huge deal. And the fact that he approached Rosie first makes it even worse. Our partnership could be in jeopardy. Still, I already have a verbal agreement with President Wong. A man of his stature has to be good for his word. Elder Wong stood up and announced, It's time for my big announcement. The Wong family already has a presence in nearly every major industry. The only one we have yet to enter is the beauty industry, where the Dream Group already holds a formidable reputation. Therefore, I am pleased to announce a partnership between the Wong Corporation and the Dream Group. We hope to join their legacy and achieve even greater success together. President Mang Rosie, would you be willing to work with us? Rosie replied gratefully, It would be my honor, Elder Wong. Xiaoli froze, completely stunned. What just happened? The members of the Mang family were ecstatic. This is unbelievable. What an incredible turn of events. Elder Wong then turned to the Xiao family and said diplomatically, The Xiao family may not be our partner this time, but that doesn't mean you aren't a worthy candidate. It's simply that we found a more suitable match this time. Inwardly, Elder Wong thought, in the beauty industry, the Excellence Group is actually larger than the Dream Group. From a pure business standpoint, they would have been the obvious choice. But some things are more important than business, like the life I owe to Dr. Suchin. Because of him, this opportunity belongs to the Dream Group. Xiaoli's face twisted in a furious scowl. Wang Jianyu, you've made a huge mistake siding with them. At one time, the Dream Group was far bigger than us, but we used every ruthless tactic in the book to crush them. Now that you've chosen to stand against us, you'll soon live to regret it. Xiaoli suddenly smirked and said aloud, Mr. Wong, I didn't just prepare that villa for you. I have another special gift. Elder Wong looked surprised. Another gift? Rosie thought uneasily. But we've already secured the partnership. Why is Shaoli still trying to stir up trouble? Then, Shaoli ordered his men to bring forward a mysterious artifact. He said proudly, "We heard you have a particular fondness for rare artifacts, so I spent 300 million to acquire this one. Even though our partnership didn't pan out, I still wish to present this to you. This piece will enhance your fortune and prosperity. And the best part is, a famous master infused it with his own spiritual power. It will even improve your health." Mr. Wong, Elder Wong smiled. "I'm touched. You members of the Xiao family are truly thoughtful. I almost feel bad for not choosing you as a partner." Shaoli smirked to himself. "That's exactly why I gave it to you. The moment you touch this artifact, the curse will take hold. You'll fall completely under my control. Once that happens, you'll obey my every command. Partnership, that's nothing. I could make you hand over the entire Wong Corporation if I wanted." Elder Wong reached out and took the artifact in his hands. Shaoli thought triumphantly, "It's done." Then he leaned forward and said smugly, "Elder Wong, could you repeat that for me? I don't think I quite heard you. Who did you say the Wong family's next partner is?" Elder Wong looked at him coolly. "What's the matter, Mr. Xiao? Even at your young age, your hearing is already starting to fail you? Fine, I'll repeat myself. I chose the Mang family." Shaoli's temper finally snapped. He grabbed Elder Wong's arm and shouted, "Old man, have you lost your mind? You were supposed to pick us." Elder Wong shot him a freezing glare. "I'm not the one who's lost it, Mr. Xiao. You are. Get this man out of here and let him cool off." As guards rushed in and grabbed Shaoli's arms, he struggled wildly, shouting, "What in the world is going on? Why isn't any of this going according to plan? I paid that phony master billions for just one spell. Why isn't it working? Did that old fraud cheat me?" Meanwhile, nervous whispers spread through the crowd. "What's gotten into Shaoli? He looks like he's possessed." All the while, Rosie's mother was beaming with pride, saying, "I knew it. My daughter really is the best." Secretary Lu chimed in with relief. "President, all our hard work wasn't for nothing." Elder Wong stood and addressed the room. "My apologies for that little disruption. Let's not let it spoil our evening. Please, let the celebration continue." Meanwhile, Rosie, still completely baffled, thought to herself, what on earth was that with Shaoli? He seemed like he was totally possessed. And where did Suchin suddenly run off to? He's such a strange guy. One second he's right here, and the next he's just vanished. She turned as he reappeared beside her and asked, "Where did you go?" Suchin replied nonchalantly, "Oh, just had to use the restroom." Rosie offered a small smile. "You won't believe it. The Wong Corporation actually chose us as their business partners. But isn't that bizarre? Shaoli was so sure he had it in the bag, yet somehow we're the ones they chose." Suchin just shrugged with a grin. "That's fate for you. It can change in an instant. Anyway, congratulations, Rosie," she asked curiously. "Did you have something to do with this?" Suchin just smirked. "Who's to say? Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe I'm just a lucky guy. But if you're going to call me your good luck charm, the least you could do is treat me to dinner." Rosie's mother cut in irritably. "Darling, you are so naive. Giving credit to this country hick? It was obviously your grandfather who used his influence. He probably called in a favor with an old friend. That's the only logical explanation. This has nothing to do with Suchin's so-called luck." Rosie replied thoughtfully. "But I remember Grandpa always wanted to partner with the Wong family. He just never got the chance. If he really had a powerful friend who could set all this up, wouldn't he have done it a long time ago?" Her mother shot back, "You clearly have no idea what your grandfather is capable of. Let me tell you something. The main estate of the Mang family is in Tanu City. If you want to understand just how powerful our family truly is, you better listen up. Even the four great Wong families combined couldn't hold a candle to a single branch of the Mangs. Your grandfather left the main family ages ago, and you know how stubborn he is. Once he walked away, he never looked back. But if we were to ask for their help, even today, there's not a single problem in this entire country our family couldn't solve." Rosie blinked in surprise, thinking, "We actually have a main residence? Grandpa never told me that. If Grandpa really does have such powerful connections, then maybe he was involved after all. Because if Suchin was the one who pulled this off, why would he have just disappeared like that? Maybe I'm just reading too much into this." Rosie's mother then turned to Suchin and snapped, "All right, Suchin, I've said enough. I'm thirsty. Go get me a glass of water." Suchin replied with a lazy drawl, "I was just gaming on my phone for a bit. My hands are sore, so unfortunately, I can't get you any water right now." Rosie's mother scolded, "You can't do one simple thing for your mother-in-law?" Suchin answered coolly, "You're the one who made a promise. Remember? You said you would officially accept me as your son-in-law, but you never did. Until that happens, I can't exactly treat you like my mother-in-law. The day you accept me as family is the day I'll start acting like it. For now, I'm hungry and I'm going to get something to eat." Just then, a waiter approached Suchin. "Young master, Elder Wong wishes to see you." At that exact moment, Liang sidled up to Rosie's mother and said smoothly, "If you're feeling thirsty, I can get you some water. Why waste your breath on that Suchin fellow? Rosie's mother looked up, surprised. Liang, what are you doing here? Liang just smiled. There was a small misunderstanding earlier, but I've already cleared it up. That's why I'm back. Rosie scowled at him. What are you doing here, Liang? Liang immediately adopted a soft, pleading tone. Please, Rosie, don't be angry. I admit I went too far earlier, but it's only because I've always cared about you. I'm sorry. Please, forgive me. Bribing the guards to get in here cost me a pretty penny, but after she forgives me, I'm going to teach her a lesson she'll never forget, Rosie said with a chill in her voice. You must have heard we're official partners with the Wong family now. So what? You're here to suck up to us? Liang quickly shook his head. No, it's not like that at all. I just came to apologize for how I acted before. If you drink this glass of wine I brought, I'll know we're good. Rosie's mother urged her on. Go on, Rosie. Please, just do it. Rosie sighed. Fine, Mom, but I'm only doing this for you. A small smile crept onto Liang's face. Just as I thought, our Rosie Mang is the most beautiful girl in the entire city. But as Rosie took a sip, her brow furrowed. Something's off about this wine. Why does it taste so weird? Liang leaned in. What's the matter, Rosie? Your face is all red. Are you feeling okay? Rosie's head started to spin. Why am I suddenly burning up? I need to get to the restroom and splash some water on my face before I completely lose it. Liang trailed after her, faking concern. Here, let me help you see a doctor. Rosie struggled feebly. Get your hands off me. Her mother saw her stumbling and asked with worry in her voice, Rosie, what's wrong? Why can't you walk straight? Liang's right. You should let him take you to a doctor. Rosie tried to object. No, I can manage on my own. Liang smoothly reassured her mother. Don't you worry, Auntie. I'll make sure she's well taken care of. Rosie's mother hesitated, a thought crossing her mind. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? No, I must be overthinking things. Liang is an old friend. He would never do anything to hurt her. Meanwhile, Liang was dragging Rosie down to the basement and shoving her into his car. A sneer on his face. Rosie, always acting so high and mighty. Just look at you now, completely helpless. You have no clue what I have in store for you. You're going to be my ticket straight into the Wong family. I can't wait to see the look on Su Chen's face when you dump him for me. We'll see how he takes that. But just as he leaned in, a metal pipe came flying through the air and slammed right into Liang's neck, sending him crashing to the floor, his body twitching uncontrollably. Su Chen emerged from the shadows, his voice ice cold. You city folk are just pathetic. You find someone weaker than you, and you bully them without a second thought. But the second you run into someone stronger, you grovel like pathetic dogs. You have no backbone. You just get your kicks from hurting people. Now, I'm going to make sure you're so messed up, you won't even be able to lift a glass of water for the rest of your days. With that, he grabbed Liang and tossed him aside like a piece of trash. You're going to regret this for as long as you live, and from this day forward, you'll never hurt another soul again. He then gently lifted the unconscious Rosie into his arms, who was still out cold, and muttered to himself, Good thing I got here when I did. If anything had happened to her, I don't know how I could ever face Grandpa. Even passed out, Rosie instinctively held on to him. Su Chen let out a soft chuckle. Well, there are certainly some perks to saving a damsel in distress. As he carried her out, he told a nearby waiter, have my car brought around immediately, and let Elder Wong know I'm taking off. The waiter spotted the VVIP symbol on Su Chen's card and bowed deeply. Right away, sir. Just give us 2 seconds. Your car will be here in a moment. Later, back at the house, Grandpa Mang asked anxiously, Su Chen, what happened to Rosie? Did she have too much to drink? Why is her face so flushed? Is she sick? Su Chen shook his head. No, Grandpa. Someone slipped something in her drink. Grandpa was stunned. What? Who would dare pull a stunt like that? Su Chen gently laid Rosie down and said, she'll be fine in about 2 hours. The stuff has no permanent side effects. Grandpa's fists tightened in rage. I want to know who that scumbag is. Whoever tried to hurt my granddaughter is going to pay. Big time. I don't care if I have to burn this whole city to the ground to find him. I will not let this slide. Su Chen replied, it was Li Dong from the Li family. But that's not all. The kind of stuff he used. There's no way a guy like him could get his hands on it alone. It means someone powerful is pulling his strings. Someone who wants to bring our family down. The scene cuts to the Xiao family mansion. Xiao Li asked one of his men, Did you handle what I told you to? The man nodded. Yes, young master. Everything went exactly as planned. I gave that moron Li Dong the substance you wanted me to. Even with the Wong family blacklisting him, I still managed to slip him into the party. By now, he's definitely done what we wanted. Xiao Li smirked. Excellent. One way or another, that Wong family partnership will be ours. And as for that Rosie girl, she's going to pay dearly for crossing us. Just then, his phone buzzed. It was Liang's father. Xiao Li frowned, thinking, why would old Mr. Li be calling me at a time like this? That idiot Dong must have screwed something up. He answered the call. Mr. Li, what a surprise. To what do I owe the pleasure? Liang's father screamed into the phone. You have the gall to ask me that after what you've done? You really have no idea, do you? What did you do to my son? Do you have any clue what kind of state he's in? Ever since he got home, he hasn't said a single coherent word, just spouting nonsense. Shaoli was floored. What are you talking about? His mind is broken, Liang's father roared. He came back a complete wreck. The doctor said he might never be the same. I asked around at the party. People told me he only talked to 2 people before it happened, your boy Hao and Rosie from that Mang family. That's why I'm calling you. You better start explaining everything right now. Shaoli sighed and said smoothly, well, since it's come to this, I won't hide anything. I don't think you're aware of what your son was up to. He was completely obsessed with Rosie, but she turned him down and married someone else. That humiliation drove him over the edge. From what I've gathered, he tried to pull some underhanded stunt at the party tonight. So naturally, the Mang family must have pushed back. Or maybe one of Rosie's many admirers decided to teach him a lesson, personally. No matter how you slice it, this all started because of Rosie, Liang's father growled. So, it was because of that girl, Rosie. We did so much to prop up that pathetic Mang family, and this is the thanks we get. They are going to regret this. I swear, I'll bring them to ruin. Shaoli replied with confidence, Mr. Li, we've been partners for years. What happened to your son genuinely breaks my heart. Give me 1 week, and I'll have the entire Mang family on their knees begging you for forgiveness. If I can't do that, then I'm not worthy of being called Shaoli. Liang's father said coldly, fine. Since you're my son's best friend, I'll give you this one chance. I want to see results in 7 days. After hanging up, he gazed at his son and muttered, my boy, don't you worry. The people who did this to you won't be around to see another week. Meanwhile, Li Dong, lying paralyzed in his hospital bed, could only dart his eyes around. Dad, help me. I'm not in a coma. I can see and hear everything, but I can't move a muscle. I can't even make a sound. I have no idea what that Suchin guy did to me, but I'm completely trapped in my own body. The scene changes to the Wong family's hotel. Elder Wong said, Brother Jian, Master Suchin will be arriving any moment. I'm positive he can help you with your problem. Jiang replied, I'm very curious to meet this young man who earned your complete trust so quickly, Elder Wong. Talented young people like him are a rare breed these days. This man was Jiang Ju, the director of the Food and Medicine Department. Just then, Suchin walked in and said politely, Elder Wong, you sent for me. Elder Wong smiled warmly. Ah, Master Su, please, come in. Yesterday, you mentioned needing some medicinal herbs. I've gathered them all for you in this box. Suchin thought to himself, there's an incredible spiritual energy radiating from this box. I have to say, the Wong family's network is seriously impressive. He said aloud, you've gathered everything I asked for. This is perfect. Elder Wong nodded. I'm happy I could be of service, Master Su. Actually, I invited you today to introduce you to my good friend, Mr. Jian. He's been suffering from a debilitating headache and fever for some time now. He's been to countless doctors, but nothing seems to work. Is there anything you can do for him? Suchin replied thoughtfully. Physically, he appears to be in good health. The problem isn't with his body, it's with his spirit. There is a malevolent entity attached to him. Elder Wong was shocked. What, a malevolent entity? Suchin asked calmly. Mr. Jiang, did you happen to move into a new home recently? Jiang shook his head. No, I haven't moved. Suchin pressed on. Then are you staying over at a friend's house? Perhaps? Jiang scowled with irritation. That's enough. What is all this nonsense you're spouting? Elder Wong jumped in. Brother Jian, why are you getting so worked up? Jiang snapped back. How am I supposed to react, Brother Wong? You must be going senile from your own sickness. My head is killing me, and now this kid is telling me I'm haunted by a ghost? Who in this day and age believes in that kind of garbage? I sure don't. I'm out of here. Suchin sighed. Look, it makes no difference to me whether you believe me or not, but since you've questioned my skills, please accept this as a gift. It will shield you from harm and keep that entity at bay. Here, take this talisman. It'll shield you from danger 3 times. Jiang scoffed. Oh, let me guess. Now you're going to tell me this little piece of paper is worth 10 or 15 million? Isn't that your whole scam, trying to squeeze money out of people? Suchin replied firmly, I don't want your money. Just take it. Jiang's eyes widened just a bit. What in the world is with this guy's strength? He's barely even holding my wrist, but I can't break free no matter how hard I try. Elder Wong then spoke with a serious tone. Brother Jiang, we've known each other since we were kids. For old time's sake, please just accept what Dr. Su is offering and keep it on you. Jiang grumbled in response. Fine, old Wong. The only reason I'm taking this is for you. I can't believe you'd pull the friendship card to make me take something this ridiculous. With that, he stormed off. Elder Wong turned to Suchin, his expression apologetic. Divine Dr. Su, please forgive him. My friend hasn't been well for a while now, and it's made him quite irritable. He didn't mean any offense. Suchin replied calmly, he's not at fault. It's rare for anyone these days to believe in things like spirits or curses. However, I strongly advise you to watch him closely. He's in grave danger. The negative aura around him is already draining his vitality. So if he says anything strange or harsh, please don't take it personally. He isn't in his right mind. Elder Wong nodded. I understand. Divine Doctor. I'll be sure to watch over him. As for the herbs you requested, I'll have them ready for you shortly. The scene then shifts to the Mang mansion. Rosie's mother was pacing back and forth, consumed by anxiety. Old Wong told me Rosie and Suchin left the party early last night. I have no idea if they even made it home. Just then, Grandpa Mang walked in and said sternly, well, look who finally decided to grace us with her presence. The queen herself has arrived. Rosie's mother looked flustered. Dad, I had a little too much to drink last night, so I just crashed at a friend's place. Anyway, where's Rosie? She okay? She went with Leong to see a doctor last night, didn't she? Without warning, Grandpa Mang slapped her hard across the face, and tears immediately welled up in her eyes. Dad, why would you hit me? Grandpa Mang roared. You're asking me why? Your daughter's life was almost ruined last night. How could you possibly leave her alone with that animal? Leong, do you have any idea what he tried to do to her? Rosie's mother was in shock. What? Dad, what are you talking about? That monster, Leong, tried to hurt Rosie? I have to see her. She's okay, right? She bolted towards Rosie's room, calling out, My baby, are you all right? Rosie just gave a faint nod. Yes, I'm fine, Grandpa Mang said sternly. Of course she's fine. That's because Suchin was there to protect her. If he hadn't been, I don't even want to think about what might have happened last night. Rosie's mother stammered. But Dad, how could I have known what kind of person Leong really was? It's not my fault. My friends swore he was a decent guy. That's the only reason I trusted him with Rosie. But don't you worry. I'm going to make that so-called friend of mine pay for this. Then, turning to Rosie, her voice softened. Rosie, please, can you forgive your mother for this? Rosie's reply was ice cold. I'm leaving. I'll be gone for a few days. I'm going to stay at the office. I just can't be here right now. Her mother pleaded, Please don't go, sweetheart. Rosie stated firmly, I already told you. I'll be at the company. Her mother said, her voice filled with desperation, Trust me, Rosie. I'll cut off that friend who told me about Leon completely. At that, Rosie finally snapped. Her voice shook with rage. Just stop pretending, Mom. Even after you saw the state I was in last night, you still left me alone with that monster. If something had actually happened, it would have been all your fault. You've already done more than enough. Please, just don't do anything else. Her mother stood there, frozen, as Rosie turned her back and walked away. She whispered to herself, I never imagined Rosie could hate me this much. Grandpa interjected angrily. After everything that just happened, you seriously think your daughter has no right to be angry with you? What kind of a mother are you? You abandoned your own child with a predator like Leong and didn't even bat an eye. You were out partying all night while Rosie's life was on the line. Her anger is more than justified. As Rosie stormed out of the house, Suchen, who was watching, called out jokingly, Well, it looks like Miss Mang is off on an adventure. So, where are you headed, Miss Mang? Rosie replied calmly, I'm going to stay at the office for a few days. There's just too much work to get done. Suchen effortlessly picked up her bag and put it in the car, remarking, trading a cozy home for a stuffy office. Huh? Now that's what I call true dedication. As he turned toward her, Rosie grabbed his hand, saying, There's a shareholders meeting today. You're coming with me. Suchen groaned. I literally just got in the door, and you're already trying to drag me back out? Nevertheless, they soon arrived at the Dream Group headquarters, where Secretary Liu rushed over, her face clouded with worry. President, we have a major problem. The Food and Medicine Department has launched a surprise inspection on our project, the very one we've been pouring everything into for 6 months. They're claiming we never had permission to start production. Rosie frowned. Asterisk, what kind of nonsense is this? Asterisk, she thought. We've been working on the White and Lovely Cream project for 6 months straight. All the paperwork was completed and approved. How could this possibly happen today? Of all days, the same day as our shareholders' meeting? This is too much of a coincidence. Someone inside this company must be behind it, Rosie said firmly. Take me there. I want to see for myself exactly what's going on. As they walked, Xiao Fan appeared, putting on a show of concern. Rosie, what's all this about? The entire White and Lovely project was finished and just about ready for launch. How could a problem like this just pop up now? If this cream fails the inspection, we stand to lose billions of dollars. You do understand the company's financial situation, right? We only had the budget to develop this product one time. If it gets scrapped, we can't afford to make it again, Rosie replied sharply. Yes, I'm well aware, and for the record, I am the owner of this company. I think I know how to handle my own business. Suchen leaned closer to Rosie and whispered, Who is this guy? The secretary whispered back, His name is Xiao Fan. After the Mang family, he's the second largest shareholder in the company. Meanwhile, Fan smirked to himself. Asterisk. You worked so hard on this, poured all your money and effort into it. Asterisk. Asterisk, and you never even realized I was plotting against you the whole time. Once this project implodes, your precious Mang family will be completely ruined. Asterisk. Asterisk. The shareholders will force you out, and I'll take full control of the company. Asterisk. Just then, a female officer stepped forward. Stop right there, Miss Mang. You cannot interfere with our work. She was Officer Qian Bing from the Food and Medicine Department. Rosie greeted her politely. Hello, I'm Mang Rosie, president of the Dream Group. Regarding this product you're inspecting, we already secured official approval a long time ago. The product is complete. So, what's the issue? Officer Qian replied sternly. We've already checked your documents. Interestingly, your approval papers are missing our department's official seal. Can you explain that? It looks like your company might have used a forged document. Therefore, we'll have to take you downtown for questioning. Rosie was in shock. Asterisk. How is that possible? Asterisk, she thought. Asterisk. Only 2 people handled the approval papers, myself and Secretary Liu. Asterisk. Asterisk. Grandpa was too sick at the time, so I had Liu submit the documents. Asterisk. Rosie turned to her secretary and asked, Liu, who did you give the approval documents to? Liu replied nervously. I handed them to Director Feiyan. He said he would submit them personally, claiming he had the support of several shareholders, so I gave them to him. Rosie's eyes widened in realization. Asterisk. That means Feiyan never actually submitted the documents. He filed fake ones instead. Asterisk. Asterisk. This was his scheme from the very beginning. Asterisk. Rosie said calmly, trying to reason with Officer Qian. Officer, I think there's been a misunderstanding. We do have the genuine approval papers. If you give us a little time, I can bring you the copies. Officer Qian hesitated. She knew Rosie was telling the truth. She thought, asterisk, it's true. The company did have the proper documents. They just weren't submitted. What I'm doing right now is wrong, but I have no other choice. Asterisk, her father was gravely ill, and the doctor treating him was under Feiyan's control. Asterisk, if I defy him, my father could die. I can't let that happen. I have to play along. Asterisk, at that moment, Qian's phone buzzed. It was a message from Feiyan. It read, Your father's life is in our hands. I hope you don't make a mistake. You'll regret it. Qian's hands trembled. Asterisk, that bastard is threatening me, but I have no other choice. Asterisk, she looked up, her expression turning to ice, and said, You're out of chances. Guards, detain them. The guards stepped forward. Miss, if you refuse to cooperate, we'll be forced to use physical means. But before they could move, Suchin stepped in front of Rosie and said calmly, Step back. There's no need for violence. We only asked for a fair chance, and you wouldn't even grant us that. It seems you people have no idea how to do your jobs properly. Rosie glanced at such Chen, realizing he was right. He's completely right. We shouldn't resist now. If Feiyan planned all this, these officers must be connected to him. We need to stay calm and find a way out of this situation carefully. Secretary Liu said nervously. President, this is all my fault. Because of me, you're facing so many problems. Rosie replied calmly. If we haven't done anything wrong, then we have nothing to fear. Meanwhile, Feiyan watched everything unfold and smirked to himself. Finally, that thorn named Rosie is out of my way for good. When everyone believes the project has failed and that she's unfit to lead the company, I'll step in, present the real documents, and save the situation. The company will be mine, and I'll become president. Just then, Such Chen's phone rang. As he reached for it, Officer Khan stopped him. You're not allowed to answer this call, she said, grabbing the phone. She picked it up, and on the other end was Director Jian. Khan said, I don't care who you are, but Suchin can't take this call right now. We're taking him to the Food and Medicine Department for investigation. If you have any important business, meet him there. She hung up and handed the phone back to Su Chen. Director Zhang frowned. My department's officers have detained Su Chen. What on earth is going on? I need to look into this immediately. Scene shifts inside the interrogation room. Officer Qian asked sternly, Tell me, why did you people submit fake documents? Su Chen replied calmly, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've only been working at the company for a few days. I have nothing to do with any of the older materials. Qian folded her arms. We've discovered that you have 0 work experience. So tell me, how did someone like you get a job as the president's assistant in such a big company? She thought to herself. He must be some spoiled young master from a rich family who got this position through connections. If I pressure him a little, he's bound to spill something. Anything I get out of him could be enough to destroy Rosie completely. Suchin smirked and said lightly, How should I know why such a big company hired me? Maybe they just like my handsome face. Qian snapped angrily. You think this is a joke? Your boss has already confessed everything. Start talking now or we'll have to use force. Suchin replied coolly. Do whatever you have to, but I can't tell you something I don't know. Qian clenched her fists. Then you leave me no choice. You need to be taught a lesson. Suchin leaned back and smiled. Oh, really? What lesson will you teach me? Officer, if it's something new, I'm all yours. Qian was getting frustrated. No matter how I threaten him, he doesn't even flinch. He's too calm, as if he's used to this. Am I really going to have to use force? Just then, the door opened and Director Zhang entered the room. He said sharply, Officer Khan, what exactly do you think you're doing? Khan froze in panic. Director, what What are you doing here? Did you need something? Director Jang said sternly. Yes. If you're detaining the man who saved my life, then of course I had to come here myself. Keen blinked in shock. What? The man who saved your life? Who are you talking about? Suchin smiled faintly. Director Jian, you've changed a lot. Weren't you the one who called me a fraud? Since when did you start respecting me so much? Director Jang immediately bowed slightly. Divine Dr. Su, please forgive me. You're not just an excellent doctor, you're a true spiritual master. Everything you said to me came true today. First, my car was hit in a high-speed accident, but no one was hurt. Both cars were destroyed, but we survived. My talisman burned slightly, just as you said it would during the first danger. Then, when I was walking home, a flower pot fell from the 7th floor. It landed right in front of me. I missed it by mere inches. The talisman burned again, and finally my car brakes failed while driving, but somehow the car stopped on its own. The talisman caught fire completely and turned to ash. You told me I'd faced 3 great dangers, and that the talisman would protect me each time. You were absolutely right. After the 3rd, it disappeared. And that's when I realized how wrong I was to doubt you. Please forgive me, Divine Doctor. I was blind to your power. A stupid man like me has no right to stand before you. I don't even know how to properly apologize. Officer Kian is less than Unk is greater than S face turned pale. Director Jian is bowing to such Chen. I'm finished. There's no way I'm keeping my job after this. Suchin said calmly, there's no need to apologize. I forgave you a long time ago for old Wang's sake. Besides, you weren't in your right mind. I understand why you acted that way. Director Jang said with gratitude, thank you. Dr. Su, I owe you a great deal. Then he turned. And as for Officer Khan, the person you were told to have come meet Suchin at the department, that was me. And that's precisely why I've personally reviewed this entire case. The Dream Group project you brought these people in for, it was already approved. Yes, they were late submitting the official documents. For that, you should have issued a warning or a minor penalty, not drag them down here like common criminals. You didn't even give them a chance to submit their paperwork. Tell me, Officer Khan, did you abuse your authority? Are you working for Fian now instead of this department? He glared at her. Did you really believe I wouldn't uncover your little side deal? Khan pleaded desperately. Director, please, just give me a chance to explain. Director Jang cut her off coldly. Take her away. I have no interest in hearing excuses from someone who can't even perform their duty with integrity. The guards immediately escorted Officer Khan out of the room. Suchin then said quietly, thank you for your assistance, Director. So, do you believe me now? By the way, the negative aura around you has only been suppressed. It hasn't been permanently cured. Director Jang nodded respectfully. Understood, Dr. Su. I'll make sure to get that handled. But first, let's settle this Dream Group matter. The scene shifts to the Dream Group shareholders meeting, where one shareholder was speaking nervously. I heard a rumor that President Rosie has been arrested. Is that really true? Another replied with anxiety. If it is, our company's reputation is completely ruined. What's going to happen to us now? Fine spoke with a smug tone. It seems most of you are still in the dark about what's really happening. Let me spell it out for you. Rosie has been detained by the Food and Medicine Department. They're claiming there's a problem with our approval documents, which, by the way, Rosie prepared herself. To be blunt, I don't see her coming back from this. She's done for. Rosie's father sat in silence, deep in thought. When I heard about my father's illness, I rushed back immediately, only to find the company in complete chaos. Ever since Rosie became president, she's managed everything perfectly. So, how on earth could something like this have happened? Fine continued confidently. There's no point in denying the truth. Our company's reputation has taken a massive blow. If Rosie remains our president, it will be impossible for us to recover. At that moment, one of the shareholders shot to his feet and declared, everyone in this industry knows how serious this is. Once the Food and Medicine Department gets involved, the company is finished. We have invested billions into this project. Why didn't Rosie handle the approval correctly? We deserve an explanation. Another shareholder added, and if she's found guilty, do you honestly think she'll ever get out? I've said it from the beginning. A woman can't manage a corporation of this size. We should have chosen Fian as president from the start. Making Rosie the president was a colossal mistake. Rosie's father stood up in a rage. Will you all just shut up for 2 minutes? She's not even in the room, and you've already started to crucify her. I have complete and total faith in my daughter. Rosie would never do anything wrong. Until she arrives and we hear from her directly, no one is allowed to jump to any conclusions. One of the shareholders retorted, President Mang, it's not that we don't trust your daughter, but when the facts are laid out in front of us, we have to accept the truth. Fian smirked and said, Director Mang, you need to face reality. Just wishing your daughter isn't guilty won't magically make her innocent. The Food and Medicine Department didn't just arrest her for no reason. They aren't incompetent. If we waste time trying to save Rosie, this company will be destroyed. I suggest we focus on saving the company first. We can worry about Rosie later. If the company collapses, we all lose everything. Just then, a female employee entered the meeting room and announced, Director Jiang from the Food and Medicine Department is here in person. The shareholders were aghast. What? Director Jiang himself is here? This is bad. This has to mean Rosie's situation is even more dire. Fian stood up quickly, feigning a look of concern. In this difficult time, I will take responsibility for the company and go speak to the director. As he walked out, he smirked to himself. Seeing you fall from grace like this. Rosie, this is just too sweet. The second I give the director the genuine approval documents, this entire mess will be over, and everyone will see me as the hero who saved the company. And then, the president's chair will finally be mine. Stepping outside, Fume put on his best fake smile and walked up to Director Jiang. Director Jiang, it's a true honor to finally meet you in person. My name is Xiao Fun, a director at Dream Group. As of now, I'm managing all of the company's affairs. Director Jiang responded with a calm, level voice. So, you're Xiao Fun? I have to say, I didn't think our paths would cross again this quickly. Fume put on a show of being flattered. Oh, you've heard of me? That's a real honor, Director. But internally, his mind was racing. Based on his reaction, Rosie is completely done for. There's no way she's coming back from this. At long last, I'll claim the president's seat, something I could only dream of while she was in the picture. A proud smirk spread across his face, but it vanished in an instant when Director Jiang suddenly snapped a pair of handcuffs on his wrists. Fune's expression froze in disbelief. Director, what is the meaning of this? Director Jiang's voice was ice cold as he replied, I'm doing what I should have done a long time ago. Xiao Fun, you are under arrest for the bribery of officers Qi and Bing. You're coming with us for questioning. Panic washed over Fun. This has to be some kind of joke. Don't tell me that woman, Qi Bing, sold me out. Whatever she told you, it's all a pack of lies. I'm completely innocent. I had nothing to do with any of it. Right on cue, Rosie and Secretary Liu walked in. Fun's eyes blazed with fury as he yelled, Rosie, who in the world let you out? You're the one behind this, aren't you? What is your problem? Why can't you stand the thought of me being president? You've been in charge of this company forever. Would it really kill you to let someone else have a turn? Rosie gave him a look that could freeze fire and said, Fun, let's be clear. The reason you were never considered for president is simple. You are not, and have never been, qualified. Did you really think you could just take this position from me? You don't even come close to matching my qualifications, my skills, or my track record. To be perfectly honest, you're not even worthy of being called my rival. As the officers started escorting a stunned Fun out of the building, Rosie turned to Director Jiang and said with genuine gratitude, Director Jiang, thank you so much for all your help. I promise, from this day forward, I'll manage my company with greater care to ensure nothing like this ever happens again. If you ever have some free time, please allow us to host you for lunch at our home. Director Jiang smiled warmly and replied, if you truly want to thank someone, your thanks should go to the incredible Dr. Su, not me. Without his intervention, I never would have learned the truth behind this whole affair. Rosie was completely taken aback. What? Chen was the one who solved all this? I just assumed we got incredibly lucky when you decided to step in. But you're saying he's the one who set everything straight? Director Jiang nodded. That's right. If it hadn't been for the talisman that Dr. Su gave me, I likely wouldn't even be alive to stand here today. My actions today are nothing compared to the debt I owe him. Chen interjected calmly. Well, that's enough of that. We still have some unfinished business to attend to. He thought to himself, the sinister energy clinging to Director Jiang is getting stronger. The source must be a place where he spends a lot of time, most likely his home. After saying their goodbyes to Rosie, Chen departed with Director Jiang to investigate his house. Rosie watched him go, thinking, well, at least the biggest crisis is over. Now I need to get back to the company and assess the situation. As they stood before the house, Chen asked, Director Jiang, have you had any renovations done here recently? The director replied, yes, as a matter of fact. The old place was getting pretty run down, so I decided it was time for an overhaul. While scanning the property, Chen thought, I knew it. There's a powerful, dark aura emanating from this house. Director Jiang, has anyone ever died on this property? Because the energy here is practically screaming it. Director Jiang's brow furrowed in confusion. Dr. Su, I've lived in this house for many, many years. It's impossible that someone died here. Chen noted silently. His reaction confirms it. He genuinely has no clue what happened on his own property. No matter, I'll just have to find out for myself. He placed a hand flat against the wall and muttered, someone most definitely died here. Director Jiang is oblivious, but this place is saturated with the energy of death. He then turned and asked, Director Jiang, you mentioned you had the house renovated recently, correct? Was this particular wall part of that renovation? Director Jiang nodded. Yes, I had this wall completely rebuilt. Chen stated firmly, then this wall is the source of all your problems. It has to come down. Director Jiang hesitated for a moment. Are you absolutely sure? I just paid a fortune to have that rebuilt. But before he could even finish his sentence, Chen drew back his fist and punched the wall a single time, and it completely shattered. Chen then said calmly, if you want to keep on living, you're going to have to learn to let go of your attachment to money. He reached into the shattered wall and pulled out a human skeleton. Director Zhang gasped, completely stunned. A human skeleton? Suchin confirmed with a nod. This person was murdered and sealed inside your wall, along with the weapon used to do the deed. The thing is, when they were buried, they weren't entirely gone. That's why their soul latched onto you, mistaking you for the killer and becoming a vengeful spirit. Right then, the lights in the house suddenly flickered out, and Director Zhang grabbed his head, groaning in agony. Divine Dr. Su, you have to help me, he pleaded. Suchin quickly replied, the killer had to be one of the workers who did the renovation. Took this man's life and stashed the body here to cover his tracks. Pulling out a glowing talisman, Suchin declared, this is my absolute nullification talisman. No evil spirit can withstand its power. He pressed the talisman firmly onto the floor. Just a moment later, the dark aura completely dissipated. Suchin said softly, the vengeful spirit has been pacified. It won't harm you any longer. But you need to remember this. The one who did this to them must be brought to justice. Only then can their soul truly find peace. Director Zhang let out a deep breath. The headache. It's completely gone. Divine Dr. Su, thank you so much. I have no idea what I would have done without you. Suchin replied humbly, there's no need for thanks. You were only safe because you've lived a good life. Your own good deeds were what kept the spirit's wrath at bay. If you were just an ordinary person, you would have been a goner a long time ago. I'll take this cursed object with me to ensure the spirit never gets out again. But remember this, if you want to stay safe, you need to find the culprit and report them. If that murderer is brought to justice, the spirit will never return. But if you fail to do that, then the moment I'm gone, or my power weakens, that spirit will absolutely come for you again. Director Zhang nodded nervously. Don't you worry, Dr. Su. By tomorrow, that criminal will be hunted down. The scene changes. The next morning, Suchin was sitting cross-legged, thinking to himself, the morning is the absolute best time for cultivation. Just 30 minutes of focused meditation can strengthen my energy immensely. Suddenly, Roz's father walked in. Suchin smiled. Ah, father-in-law, it's great to see you. Roz's father let out a chuckle. Father-in-law, huh? That's the first time I've heard that one, but I guess I'll get used to it. Anyway, I heard from Director Zhang that you were the one who solved that problem at the company yesterday. Suchin replied modestly, oh, that. It was nothing major, really. Just a minor issue that I handled easily. Roz's father laughed. You call that times minor asterisk? You have no idea what a huge favor you've done for our family. First, you saved my father's life, and now you saved my daughter's. I honestly don't know how I can ever thank you. Anyway, I was just heading out to shop for some herbs and antiques. Would you care to join me? I hear you're pretty interested in that stuff yourself, too. Suchin smiled. Sure, let's go. Roz's father said proudly, you know, in our entire house, I'm the only one who really loves collecting antiques. But now that you're here, I finally have someone to share that passion with. A little later, they arrived at an antique shop. As they walked in, Roz's father said, Suchin, antiques are tricky business. They might not look like much, but their true value can be astronomical. If you don't know about something in here, it's best to just keep quiet. Antique masters tend to get offended easily. Oh, and speaking of which, I recently bought a painting that was personally authenticated by the one and only Master Yu Ziling. You'll see just how magnificent it is. The moment they stepped inside, Master Yu Ziling himself came forward with a smile and brought out the very painting for them to inspect. Yu Ziling said excitedly, Mr. Mang, you're finally here. You know, it's been less than half an hour since this painting even arrived, and I've had at least 10 people already ask me for the price. Mang Jian smiled confidently. You said this piece was by that famous ancient painter, correct? There's no question about its authenticity, I hope. Yu Ziling replied proudly, Mr. Mang, you've bought plenty of items from my shop before. Have you ever once had a problem? Don't you worry. It's completely genuine. The price is 2 million. Take it. It's an incredibly rare find. He smirked to himself, thinking, yeah, take it. Take this perfect fake for a cool 2 million. It's such a flawless replica that even the top experts wouldn't be able to spot the difference. It only cost me a few thousand to make, but I'll fleece him for 2 million without breaking a sweat. Mang Jian said cheerfully, just a moment, I'll write you a check right now. But before he could, Suchin quickly stepped in to stop him. Father-in-law, please wait just a moment. There's something not right with this painting. Mang frowned. What are you talking about, boy? I've already shown this painting to several masters, and every single one of them approved it. There's no way it's a fake. Yu Ziling shot him an irritated look. Mr. Mang, am I to believe you're not here to buy, but to insult me? I normally wouldn't stand for anyone calling my merchandise fake. The only reason you're still here is because you're a regular customer. Otherwise, you'd already be out on the street. Mang let out an awkward laugh. Now, no need to get angry. I'm definitely buying it. The kid just spoke out of turn. He then turned to Suchin and whispered, I told you to keep your mouth shut in here. You nearly cost me this painting. Suchin sighed inwardly, thinking, it's pointless. He's completely blinded by greed. He's not going to listen to reason. Just then, Yu Ziling's phone rang. He stepped aside to answer it, a smirk playing on his lips. Old Mang, you absolute fool. If you just bought it quietly, I would have sold it to you for 2 million. But since you wanted to play smart, I'm going to squeeze you for every last penny. Mang Jian scolded Su Chen. I told you never to talk in these kinds of shops. These are limited collectibles. You have thousands of buyers, but only a few sellers. That's precisely why antique dealers have such short fuses. Right then, another man entered the shop. Su Chen knew immediately. He's a plant from the shopkeeper. He's going to pretend to bid on the painting just to drive the price up. The man looked at the painting and exclaimed dramatically, "What a masterpiece." Su Chen muttered to himself, called it. Only a handful of people actually understand antiques. It's way too easy to fool rich guys with a fancy shop and a good story. The man announced loudly, "Shopkeeper, I want this painting." Yu Zizzling replied in a flash, "I'm sorry, sir, but this piece is already sold." The man countered, "But it's not even wrapped up yet, which means you haven't been paid. If you haven't received the money, it's not sold. I'll offer 5 million for it. Just wrap it up for me. Heck, make it 6 million if you want." "Deal." Su Jin turned to Ming Jiang urgently. "Uncle, trust me, let this man have it. Honestly, I could paint something better myself." But Mang Jiang, now fuming and competitive, slammed a check for 10 million on the table. Yu Siling's inner voice sneered, "Hook, line, and sinker. I just made a cool 10 million off this idiot." The fake bidder shouted as he ran out, "I don't have 10 million on me right now, but don't you sell it. I'll bring the money right back from home." Mang Jiang declared proudly, "Shopkeeper, take my payment and give me the painting." "You," Siling replied smoothly, "Well, he's gone now. And since you're a valued customer, I'll let you have it for 10 million. Inwardly, he grinned wickedly. "I just robbed him blind and made it look like I did him a favor. Suckers like this don't walk in every day." After receiving the painting, Mang Jian admired it. "This painting looks even more magnificent now that it's mine." Su Shin muttered under his breath, "I guess when you pay 10 million for trash, even garbage starts to look beautiful." Mang Jiang frowned. "Boy, because of you, I almost missed out on an 8 million gain." Suchin corrected him. "No, father-in-law, you just flat out lost 10 million. Once you realize how badly you were duped, you'll understand." Right then, some of Mang's old friends walked into the shop. "Old Mang, did you buy another antique? Come on, let's see it." Mang smiled with pride. "Just wait until you lay your eyes on it. It'll blow your minds. It's a true masterpiece." Suchin muttered sarcastically, "Oh yeah, a masterpiece of forgery." Mang snapped, "Why do you keep calling it fake? Just look at this. It's a masterpiece by a legendary ancient artist." He proudly unrolled the painting for the crowd. Everyone gasped. "Wow, Brother Mang. This is unbelievable. We're all seriously jealous. You really have a talent for finding treasures." As they admired it, an old man with a commanding presence entered the shop. A young girl beside him announced, "This is my grandfather, Mr. Sun, one of the foremost antique masters in the capital. Even famous archaeologists consult him. You're incredibly lucky, Mr. Mang. He'll personally examine your treasure." The crowd cheered. "Yes, Master Sun. Please take a look." They placed the painting before him. Master Sun examined it carefully and said, "The artist you mentioned does indeed have a similar style. The color palette and the brushwork are certainly very close. The painting is quite well made." Mang asked eagerly. "So, Master Sun, what do you think its value might be?" Master Sun replied calmly, "In my opinion, it's worth about 50 to 60. Mang's eyes went wide. 50 to 60 million. His friends whistled. "Brother Mang, you've hit the jackpot. Next time, you have to help us find treasures like this too." But Master Sun raised a hand and said dryly, "You've misunderstood," I said. 50 to 60. Thousands, not millions. The only reason it's even worth that much is because it's a well-drawn forgery." A shocked Mang Jiang cried out, "What are you talking about? This painting is fake?" Master Sun replied calmly, "That's right. This painting is a counterfeit." A wave of disbelief washed over the crowd. "How can it be a fake? It looks absolutely genuine." Someone muttered, "Maybe this old geezer is just lying." Another person asked, "Brother Mang, how much did you even pay for this?" Mang Jiang stammered nervously. "No, that's impossible." As he grabbed Master Sun by the arm, he demanded, "How can you say it's a fake? Are you absolutely certain you're not mistaken?" Master Sun's granddaughter shot back at him. "Hey, back off. There's no reason to be grabbing my grandfather like that. And just so you know, my grandpa is one of the most respected antiques experts in the entire nation. If he says it's a fake, you can bet your life it's a fake. Once word gets out that Master Sun himself declared this a fake, no one would touch it for even 10,000. Master Sun then said, "Ruru, calm yourself. Don't get worked up. And as for you, sir, if you still don't believe me, there's a very simple way to prove it. Go on, tear a small piece of the painting. You'll see the truth with your own eyes. First off, just look at the colors. They're way too vibrant. How could a painting that's supposedly thousands of years old still have colors this bright? Secondly, the paper itself looks brand new. Back in ancient times, artists used thick, coarse paper to ensure their work would last. This kind of thin, delicate paper didn't even exist back then. So, where could it have possibly come from? Sweating bullets, Mang Jiang tore a corner of the painting, declaring, "I'll see the truth for myself." Master Sun pointed to the tear and said, "Now, look closely. Do you see those tiny threads? Those are polyester fibers. Adding polyester to paper makes it more durable, but that's a technique that's less than 100 years old. So, you tell me, how could this painting possibly be 1,000 years old?" Mang Jiang's face went pale as a ghost. "You're right, it's a fake. Suchin was right all along. That scumbag tricked me," he roared, glaring daggers at Yu Siling. "You're not getting away with this." He lunged forward, grabbing the shopkeeper by the collar. Mang Jiang shouted, "Where do you think you're going, you con artist? You scammed me and thought you could just walk away. Give me my money back, right now." Yu Siling just sneered. "Mr. Mang, have you already forgotten the rules of my establishment? Once an item is sold, we bear no responsibility. This is an antique shop, after all. If you were foolish enough to buy a fake, that's your problem, not mine. However, since you're such a loyal customer, I'll give you one more chance. I'm not refunding your money, though. You can pick any other single item from my shop, free of charge. How about it?" Mang Jiang yelled back in a rage, "I don't want your junk. I want my money." That's when Suchin calmly stepped in. "Father-in-law, don't waste your breath on him. He has no intention of giving the money back. Let's just take an item and get out of here." As they began to look around the shop, Suchin's gaze fell upon a dusty, spherical object tucked away in a corner. "All right then, I'll take this." Yu Siling burst out laughing. "You idiot. That thing has been sitting there for 6 months. Nobody's even offered me 1,000 yuan for it, and you're taking it in exchange for 10 million? Fine by me. Consider our business concluded." Suchin just offered a slight smile. "Just make sure you don't go back on your word," he said. "A fair trade. 10 million for this item." He then channeled his spiritual energy, causing the ball's outer shell to crack open. Nestled inside was a flawless, glowing, luminous pearl. Everyone gasped in sheer awe. A luminous spirit pearl. The quality is unbelievable. It has to be worth at least 50 million on the market. Ruru exclaimed in amazement. "That's incredible. Who would have ever guessed a treasure like that was hidden inside some worthless-looking rock?" Master Sun nodded, a look of approval on his face. This young man scanned the entire shop in less than 2 minutes, and yet he pinpointed the single most valuable item here. "In all my years, I've never witnessed such sharp intuition." Yu Xiling started to panic. "No, wait. You can't take that. That pearl is mine." Suchin shot him a cold glare. "Don't you even think about going back on your word." Yu Xiling shouted. "No, it's mine. Give it back." Mang Jiang roared in fury. "Have you no shame? When we were the ones who lost money, you said all sales were final. And now that we've come out on top, you want to take it back?" The shopkeeper growled, "It looks like being nice isn't going to work. Do you have any idea who I am? Or who backs this shop? If you don't leave that pearl here right now, I'm calling Boss Li of the Key and Xing Hall. Once he gets here, none of you are walking out of this place alive." Suchin then asked, with genuine curiosity, "Key and Xing Hall? What's that?" Mang Jiang quickly whispered, "The Key and Xing Hall is one of the most powerful gangs in this city. Their leader, Xiao Li, is the head of the Excellence Group. If our bodyguards were with us, we might stand a chance, but we're on our own right now. It's not worth getting killed over this. Forget it. 50 million or not, our lives are more important. We can make that money back in a month. Let's just go." Just give him the pearl. But before they could, Master Sun stepped forward. "Young man, how about you sell me that pearl instead? If you do, I'll personally guarantee that no one here will lay a hand on you." Suchin offered a slight smile. "No thanks, sir. I've grown quite fond of this pearl. I think I'll hang on to it. Besides, I'm curious to see if these clowns from the Qi and Xing Hall can actually do anything to me." He then turned to Yu Xiaoling, his voice dropping to an icy tone. "Go on, call your boss. Let's find out what happens when I dismantle your entire hall today." Master Sun sighed to himself, thinking, "Ah, young people, always so impulsive, so quick to anger, so eager to fight." As they walked out of the shop, Mang Jiang asked nervously, "Suchin, what do you think? Are they actually going to come after us? Or was that shopkeeper just running his mouth?" Suchin replied calmly, "If they show up, they'll get a beatdown. If they don't, it's their lucky day." Right at that moment, a car screeched to a halt right in front of them, forcing them to slam on the brakes. Li Hao yelled furiously, "Who the hell is dumb enough to mess with my Qi and Xing Hall? You must have a death wish. Get out of the car, now." Suchin calmly stepped out and said, "So, you're the one making all this noise." Li Hao froze on the spot, stammering, "What are you doing here?" One of Li Hao's goons swaggered forward, cracking his knuckles. "Looks like you're in a real hurry to meet your maker, kid. Let me show you what it looks like when I crack a skull open." Two thugs rushed at Suchin, but before Liao could even shout a warning, Suchin sent both of them flying with one fluid motion. Suchin smirked, 2 down, 1 to go. Liao immediately dropped to his knees, trembling. "Please, don't end me. I know I made a huge mistake getting in your way. Suchin's voice was cold as ice. Oh, you have no idea just how big your mistake is. Last time, Grandpa Mang was gravely ill, so I didn't bother dealing with you properly. You got lucky and slipped away then, but this time, you've delivered yourself right to my doorstep. If you learned your lesson, you would have stayed hidden. But the fact that you're here tells me you still don't take me seriously. Utterly terrified, Liao slammed his forehead on the ground. Please, boss, forgive me. Just this once. I'll do anything you ask. Suchin gave a slight nod. Fine, take me to your headquarters. Thanks to your little gang, the Mang family has suffered more than enough. Frankly, I'm in a foul mood today. So, I think I'll fix that by knocking some sense into all of you. Today, I'm putting an end to the Qi and Xing Hall and my family's troubles in one fell swoop. Suchin thought to himself, Grandpa Mang was poisoned, and I'd bet good money the Qi and Xing Hall was behind it. If I'm right, I need to confirm it with my own eyes. A little while later, Liao nervously led Suchin to the gang's headquarters. Boss, I'm seriously terrified. If Wang Qi and Xing finds out I'm the one who brought you here, he'll have my hide. Suchin raised an eyebrow. I'm not the one you should be worried about, so what's the problem? Li Hao explained, his voice shaking. You just don't get it. I'm just the public face of the Qi and Xing Hall. The real boss is Wang Qi and Xing, and he's a young but terrifyingly strong fighter. He's so powerful that nobody in all of Tangui City can even touch him. Everyone says he's on track to become a grandmaster within the next 20 years. If he finds out I led you here, he'll beat me within an inch of my life or worse. Just finish me off. Look, I did my part and brought you here, so please, just go in by yourself. Suchin said reassuringly, what are you so scared of? I'm right here with you. Don't worry, I don't care who this Wang Qi and Xing guy is, he won't be able to lay a single finger on you. The scene then shifts inside the Qi and Xing Hall headquarters. Wang Qi and Xing growled impatiently. Where is that moron? It's been forever. I sent him to handle a couple of nobodies at that antique shop. A child could have handled that job, and he's taking this long. Last time, I sent him to the Mang family to get the Wang family's invitation from a couple of women, and he completely screwed that up, too. I swear, I should have just gone myself. Maybe I should head over and see what's taking him so long. Just as he finished his thought, the doors flew open, and his guards were tossed inside like a bunch of rag dolls. Suchin strolled in and said, So, you must be Wang Qi and Xing, the owner of these pathetic mutts. Wang snapped, Who the hell do you think you are? Suchin replied coldly, Answer me this. Was it your men who poisoned Grandpa Mang? Tell me the truth, and I'll go easy on you. But if you lie, I'll make you wish you were never born. Wang Qi and Xing frowned, thinking to himself, I can't read his cultivation level at all. That only happens in two scenarios. Either his power is light years beyond mine, or he's a complete nobody. But he's way younger than me. If he were really that strong, I would have definitely heard his name by now. So, he's just some random fool who's come here to get himself erased. He smirked, taking a step forward. If you really knew old man Mang, he would have warned you. You can't just waltz into Qi and Xing Hall. He sent you on a one-way trip. Kid, tell me, who's gonna come to your rescue now? Suchin replied with ice in his voice, So, it really was you. You were the one behind my grandpa's poisoning. All right then. I've just decided how I'll deal with you. And just like that, Suchin disappeared. Wang whipped around, yelling, Where'd you go? All that big talk, and now you're running? Suchin's voice seemed to come from right behind him. This is the first time I've ever heard a lecture from a dead man. Before Wang could even process the words, a spray of blood erupted from his mouth. The blow was so fast, he never even saw it coming. Wang choked out weakly. What just happened? How can anyone move that fast? He's just a kid. Yet his level of cultivation is leagues beyond my own. Li watched, his face a mask of pure terror. What? Wang Qi and Xing was taken down that easily? If he couldn't handle it, then I don't stand a chance. I've got to get out of here now. Staying means I'm a dead man. Just as he tried to slip away unnoticed, Suchin's voice thundered. And just where do you think you're going? Li stammered, sweating bullets. Oh, I just remembered. I've got chickens back home. If I don't feed them, they'll starve to death. That's why I was leaving. But, boss, what is it you need from me? Suchin let out a small chuckle. You know, you guys have so many goons. If they ever stop being criminals, they'd probably be useless. In this job market, I can't just put them all out of a job. So, I'll let you all live. But from this day forward, you're going to run this place for me. You'll be taking your orders directly from me. But you'll still collect your paycheck from Xiaoli. Li asked nervously, So, you want me to be a double agent? Suchin replied calmly, Why not? You got a problem with that? Li burst into tears, blubbering. No, I'll do anything you say, boss. Inside, his mind was racing. Boss Xiaoli is going to skin me alive for this. But I like breathing more than I like being loyal. I don't have a choice, Suchin continued. I've placed a curse mark on you. As long as you remain loyal and do your job for me properly, you'll be perfectly fine. But the second you even consider betraying me, you'll find out exactly why. That's a terrible, terrible idea. Li thought in sheer panic. What the hell was that? Why does my arm feel so weird? Suchin said nonchalantly. All right, I'm heading out. I'll be in touch when I need something. As Suchin vanished from view, Li trembled uncontrollably. I'm so screwed. Playing double agent. I'm going to end up dead one way or another. Scene shifts to the antique shop. The shopkeeper thought with a smug grin. By now, Li must have beaten that punk to a pulp. I bet that kid is on his knees, begging for his life right now. Right on cue, Li walked back into the shop. The shopkeeper beamed. Brother Li, you're back. I'm sure you taught that Suchin kid a lesson he won't forget. I'll bet that punk can't even stand up straight anymore, Li thought darkly. He's not wrong. Plenty of people can't stand right now, but they're all on our side, not Suchin. He shot a death glare at the shopkeeper and said icily, This is all your fault. You're not walking away from this. If it wasn't for you, I never would have had to cross paths with Suchin at all. Wait a minute. Suchin's not here. Maybe I should call Boss Xiaoli and tell him what happened. Maybe someone can get me out of this mess. But before he could even reach for his phone, a searing jolt shot through his body as the curse flared to life. Li screamed in agony. Please, forgive me. I'll never think of betraying you again. I get it now. I'm not making it out of this in one piece. But before I go down, I'm taking you the guy who dragged me into this hell with me. You're going to pay. He lunged at the terrified shopkeeper, yelling, You've caused me nothing but trouble. Now it's time for some compensation. He then started snatching up anything and everything of value in the shop. A few moments later, Li stormed out, his arms overflowing with priceless antiques. The shopkeeper collapsed to the floor, wailing, I'm ruined. He took it all. There's nothing left to sell. Scene shifted. Excellence Group headquarters. Xiaoli was trying to call Li, but the phone just kept ringing. Xiaoli growled in frustration. Where the hell is that useless idiot? How dare he ignore my calls? Just then, his own phone began to ring. It was Liang's father, Xiaoli. I told you to handle the Mang family, and to do it quickly. Yet, they're still walking around without a scratch. What's the holdup? Xiaoli replied nervously. Sir, I did make a move, but they somehow managed to get through it. I set a trap for the Mang family's company. I even had Rosie arrested, but the director of the business department, Chen, he personally stepped in and had her released. I still have no idea how the Mang family pulled strings with a man that powerful. Liang's father's voice turned cold as steel. The details are irrelevant, Xiaoli said with a confident smirk. All I care about is watching the Mang family burn. And don't you worry, their downfall is coming very soon. Even after Xiaofian's failure, his father, Xiao Ziming, is still an employee at their company. He absolutely despises them for what happened to his son. At this very moment, the Dream Group is pouring everything into a massive project, their new white and lovely cream, and Xiao Ziming is the one managing the entire production team. He's planning to resign any day now, and when he does, he's taking all the key members of his team with him. They've got the formula and the specialists who know how to make it. The Dream Group won't be able to survive it. Their $1 billion investment will go up in smoke. So don't worry. The Mang family's ruin is imminent right here in this city. Over at the Mang family mansion, Mang Jian approached Suchin, beaming with joy. Ah, Suchin, fantastic. I was just looking for you, he said, as Suchin returned his smile. You look incredibly happy, Suchin noted. Something wonderful must have happened. Mang Jian's grin stretched even wider. Wonderful is an understatement. It's fantastic news. You remember that antique shop? Well, the owner refunded all our money, and on top of that, as an apology, he gave us a genuine famous painting. Internally, Suchin thought, looks like Leia carried out his task perfectly. That explains why the shop owner was so quick to pay them back. Mang Jian went on, I didn't pay a single cent for it, but I want you to have a look and tell me if it's authentic. Suchin replied warmly, Of course, for my father-in-law, I would be more than happy to. But just as Suchin began to carefully examine the painting, Rosie burst into the room looking completely distressed. Rosie, what's the matter? Mang Jian asked. You look so worried. Did something happen? Rosie asked anxiously. Dad, where is Dr. Zhang? Mang Jian replied, He's in the lab, preparing medicine for your grandfather. Why? What's going on? Rosie quickly explained, Xiao Ziming and his entire team just abandoned the project. They took the secret cream formula and all of our skilled technicians with them. Without that formula, we can't continue production at all. I was just heading over to ask Dr. Zhang if he could analyze the samples we have left and try to recreate the formula. Suchin spoke up reassuringly, If it's that serious, I'll accompany you. At this, Mang Jian smiled with confidence. With Suchin by your side, I'm certain everything will be all right. A short while later, they reached the company's laboratory, where Dr. Zui greeted them, Miss Mang, I understand the predicament you're in, but the white and lovely formula was a very closely guarded secret, and I wasn't the one who developed it. Even if I were to start completely from scratch, it would take me at least a full year to redevelop anything close to it. Rosie's expression grew even more worried. Xiao Ziming has already joined the Excellence Group. At this pace, White and Lovely will be completely out of stock soon. If it takes us a whole year to recreate it, the Excellence Group will be miles ahead of us. Suchin, meanwhile, picked up a bottle of the cream and examined it with curiosity. Let's see what's so special about this cream, he mused, the one that allegedly takes a year to formulate. Dr. Zoe explained, to produce this cream, we require exceptionally skilled chemists and pharmacists. Even if I handed you the written formula, you wouldn't be able to find enough qualified people to produce it correctly. To be honest, it's probably best to just give up on the idea. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I can't keep working for the Mang family any longer. Your grandfather was exceptionally kind to me, and we worked side by side for many years, but I've gotten old. I simply can't handle this kind of immense responsibility anymore. I hope you can understand my position. Rosie thought to herself, Dr. Zoe has been with our family for over 30 years, and even he can't crack this formula. This means we're in some really serious trouble. But then, Suchin just smiled. To be honest, when I heard there was a problem, I was expecting a genuine crisis. But this, you're all making a huge fuss over something so trivial. He grabbed a piece of paper and quickly scribbled something on it. Here, he said, I've written down a formula that's far better than the one you're using now. Rosie just frowned in disbelief. Suchin, please, she said, exasperated. This is not the time to be joking around. If you're just trying to lift my spirits, I appreciate it, but this is no laughing matter. Look, this isn't some manhwa, and you're not some all-powerful hero. Creating a complex formula in just a few moments is impossible. Suchin just grinned. Maybe this isn't a manhwa, but I am a hero. Just take one look at it, and then tell me what you think. Dr. Zoe, now intrigued, said, You certainly seem confident, young man. Let's have a look at what you've written. The instant he laid eyes on the notes, his hands began to tremble. His eyes widened in sheer astonishment. Rosie asked, What is it? Why do you look so shocked? Dr. Zoe exclaimed, This isn't just a formula, it's a priceless treasure. If we manufacture a cream based on this, every single competing brand on the market will be wiped out overnight. Suchin just shrugged. Oh, this? I can definitely make it even better. He scribbled down a new version in a flash and passed it over. Dr. Zoe's jaw practically hit the floor. This can't be. It's the legendary Shenzhou formula. The stories say that empresses from ancient dynasties use this very thing. Major brands like Bonds, L'Oreal, and Garnier have only ever found tiny pieces of this formula, and even those little scraps built them into multi-billion-dollar empires. And now we have the whole thing. Miss Mang, why were you holding out on me? You have to let me be the one to prepare this. I'll be the most loyal employee you've ever seen, I swear. You can even cut my pay in half. Just please, let me work on this formula. Rosie cracked a small smile and said, All right, it's all yours. Dr. Zoe looked like he was about to jump out of his skin with joy. This is the best day of my entire life. From now on, my name will go down in history with the greatest scientists of all time. Looking down at the paper, Rosie whispered, Suchin, is this stuff really that incredible? Seriously, where on earth did you find this formula? I thought White and Lovely was a game changer, but based on Dr. Zoe's reaction, this is on a whole other level. Suchin explained, He's freaking out because this is literally the greatest beauty formula in all of recorded history. You've heard of the Shenzhou secret formula, right? Rosie nodded slowly. I've read about it in some old history books. The legends say there was this incredible doctor back in ancient times, and his masterpiece was the Shenzhou secret formula. They said it could give a person's skin an almost otherworldly glow. For centuries, empresses used it to stay young, but the formula was eventually lost. She paused for a moment. So now, I get why Dr. Zoe was so over the moon. A formula like this has to be worth billions. She gave Suchin a curious look. But for real, where did you get your hands on it? Suchin smiled. Well, my master wasn't about to let me leave the mountain that easily. Before he'd let me come down, he handed me 2 tiny fragments of this formula and told me to restore the whole thing. Only after I finished the job did he finally let me leave. Rosie's eyes went wide. Wait, you recreated the entire formula from just 2 little pieces. I remember reading that a major beauty corporation hired the world's best pharmacists and sank billions of dollars into trying to recreate this exact formula, and they still came up empty. She thought to herself, Grandpa always said Suchin's master was some kind of unbelievably powerful figure. It's totally possible he taught Suchin all this himself. And now, Suchin is just handing this priceless formula over to us. A determined smile spread across her face. Who even cares about White and Lovely anymore? With this, we're going to make White and Lovely 2.0, and I bet that within 5 years, there won't be a single cream on the planet that can even touch what we have. Rosie then asked softly, Suchin, you've helped us out so much. Tell me, what do you want in return for all this? Suchin just smiled and replied, What I wanted, I've already got it. At that, Rosie blushed, her mind racing. Wait a second, is he talking about me? But then Suchin casually added, Although, if you're really insistent on giving me something, I could probably use a few million. I've got to buy some medicinal herbs for my grandpa. Rosie nodded and handed him a credit card. Here, this has 50 million on it. I hope that's enough for what you need. Suchin grinned and teased. See, when your wife is a powerful CEO, you've really got nothing to worry about, right? A little later, Suchin showed up at Dr. Lee's herbal shop. He found Dr. Lee poring over a formula, muttering to himself, "Something's missing. It's something small, but it's absolutely essential. The second I figure it out, this formula will be perfect." Suchin casually suggested, "Have you tried adding lotus root? That should balance it out." Dr. Lee's face instantly lit up. "Yes, that's it. You're absolutely right. Lotus root has every element I need to complete the formula. I've been wrestling with this problem for 2 days, and you just solved it in a matter of seconds." He looked up at Suchin, his eyes filled with gratitude. "So, you have to be the divine Dr. Su I've been hearing so much about. Tell me, Dr. Su, what can I do for you today?" Suchin said, "I'm in the market for some top-tier medicinal herbs." Dr. Lee asked with curiosity, "And what exactly do you mean by top tier?" Suchin replied, "I'm talking about herbs that are at least 1,000 years old." Dr. Lee let out a nervous chuckle. "Well, if you're going to find herbs that ancient anywhere in this city, this would be the place. But even here, the truly 1,000-year-old herbs belong to my master, and they aren't for sale, not for any amount of money." Suchin gave a faint smile. "So, money's no good, huh? All right then. How about I teach you a secret refining method? It'll completely revolutionize your alchemy process." A short time later, two of Dr. As Lee's students followed him out, they immediately started complaining. "Master Lee, why on earth did you let a stranger into our alchemy lab? His refining technique was completely bizarre. What if he wrecks all our equipment?" Dr. Lee snapped back, "You foolish kids, do you have any idea who you were just talking to? That man is on a completely different level than you. He's more knowledgeable than even my own master was. All of our knowledge combined doesn't even amount to a fraction of his wisdom." The students were absolutely floored. "But he looks so young. How can someone our age be that skilled? Master, are you sure you didn't get scammed?" Just then, a sweet yet powerful fragrance wafted out from the alchemy lab, filling the air. The students gasped. "What is that smell?" He was only using a 100-year-old ginseng. How could it possibly produce such an incredible aroma? Could he be using a 1,000-year-old ginseng? Dr. Lee shook his head in disbelief. "Even if we used a 10,000-year-old ginseng, we could never create a scent this pure. Only a divine-level alchemist could refine something of this quality." A moment later, Chen stepped out and said calmly, "Your equipment is pretty low grade. With tools like these, even I can't achieve the best possible refinement." Dr. Lee was completely blown away. "You created something this extraordinary, and you're still saying it could have been better? Even a true master in this day and age couldn't achieve that level of refinement. My own grandmaster once told me, thousands of years ago, martial artists and alchemists were 100 times stronger than those of today. But over time, their power dwindled with each passing generation. Now I finally understand what he meant. Those ancient masters. They must have been people just like you, Dr. Su." Chen replied modestly, "Yes, the technique I used is over 10,000 years old." Dr. Lee's eyes widened in sheer awe. "In that case, Dr. Su, whatever medicinal herbs you need, no matter how rare, we will provide them for you. From now on, our entire hall recognizes you as our greatest benefactor. If you ever need anything from the medicine hall, we'll always be at your service." Later, Dr. Lee went to meet his grandmaster. The old man asked, "I just saw you 1 week ago, and now you've come back with this amazing ginseng. Judging from its fragrance, it's at least 8 to 10,000 years old. Where in the world did you find it?" Dr. Lee shook his head. "Master, you've misunderstood. I'm not skilled enough to find something that ancient. Actually, this medicinal liquid was refined from a 100-year-old ginseng." The grandmaster scowled. "Do I look like a 5-year-old to you? You think you can fool me with that nonsense? This scent alone proves it's no ordinary ginseng. Now stop joking and tell me where you really got it." Dr. Lee insisted. "I swear it's the truth, master. It was only a 100-year-old ginseng, but it was refined by a divine doctor, not by me." The grandmaster froze. "A divine doctor? For real? Then give him everything. Whether it's a 1,000-year-old ginseng or a 10,000-year-old one, hand them all over to him. Every valuable item we own, offer it to that man in exchange for his refining method." A short time later, the disciples were loading crates of herbs and treasures into Chen's car. The grandmaster said respectfully, "Divine Dr. Su, I hope we can do more business together in the future. If you ever wish to trade again, please consider us first." Chen smiled. "Of course, I'll remember that." The students stood speechless as he left. "Who is that guy?" The grandmaster just handed over all our priceless treasures to him and still bowed respectfully as he left. The other student whispered, "I think both our master and grandmaster got scammed. Some guy our age fooled them completely." The grandmaster overheard and barked, "The only fools here are you two. Do you realize how fortunate we were today? Forget the treasures. Just gaining the favor of such a great master is a blessing from the heavens. With his refining method alone, our medicine hall will rise to heights we've never seen before." Next, we see Chen sitting at home, deeply focused on his cultivation. He murmured to himself, "Thanks to this luminous pearl, I'm getting really close to my breakthrough. Not only has it enhanced my cultivation, but this location has also helped tremendously." The spiritual energy within a 100-meter radius is extremely dense here. Now that my cultivation session is complete, it's time to prepare medicine for Grandpa. Just as he began mixing the ingredients for the medicine, he suddenly heard shouting and gunfire outside his window. Looking out, he saw Mr. Sun and his granddaughter Ruru under attack. Chen thought, "What's going on? Who are these people? So, why are these two getting jumped?" From the looks of it, they're both trained fighters, which explains how they're holding their own. Just then, one of the goons yelled out while letting his piece sing, "Old Master Sun, you should have just done what you were told. Your stubbornness is going to get you sent to the afterlife." Old Master Sun whipped out his sword and started swatting the projectiles out of the air, but one slipped through and tore into his shoulder, sending him to the ground. Ruru, completely horrified, saw her grandfather get hit and let her guard down for a split second. The attacker pounced on the opening, landing a nasty blow. The goon sneered, "Don't you worry, little lady. You two won't be apart for long. I'll be sending you both on a one-way trip to meet your ancestors." Suchin's hand tightened into a fist. Asterisk. Looks like fate decided to drop these two right in my lap. Asterisk. Asterisk, which means today is not their day to check out. Asterisk, just as the hitman raised his weapon for the final shot, Suchin materialized out of thin air, his blade flashing as it split the incoming slug right down the middle. The attacker was frozen stiff, completely stunned. "Who the hell are you? Where did you come from?" "Look, kid, you have no idea who you're messing with. If you knew who sent us, you wouldn't have the guts to get involved." A smirk played on Suchin's lips. "You're right, I don't know who your boss is. But it doesn't matter, because there's not a single thing they could do to me." Before the guy could even blink, Suchin was gone, reappearing behind him and taking him out in a single, fluid motion. The other attackers started to panic. "What is this speed? We can't even track his movements." In the blink of an eye, Suchin had effortlessly dealt with the rest of them. He calmly said, "If you're going to call yourselves assassins, at least get stronger first. Go on home, get some proper training, and then maybe you can try again." Old Master Sun, clutching his bleeding shoulder, asked, "Young man, why did you save us?" Suchin replied, "Because we met at the antique shop." The old man's eyes widened in recognition. "Ah, of course. I remember now. You're the one who discovered the luminous pearl. Thank you, truly, for saving our lives. Honestly, I never would have guessed someone your age could have reached the Grandmaster level." Suchin just blinked at him. "Grandmaster level? What's that? Never heard of it." Old Master Sun began to explain. "In the world of martial arts, power is categorized into different ranks. Those thugs you just took down, they were all at the Menning level. In my prime, I could have dealt with them myself, no problem. But my cultivation has been erratic lately, so I just couldn't hold my own. But the way you dispatched them so easily, it's undeniable. You are without a doubt at the Grandmaster level." Asterisk. So asterisk, Suchin thought to himself. Asterisk, the power system here is totally different from what I learned on the mountain. Asterisk, he then said out loud, "I have no idea what this Grandmaster level is, but I'm just glad I was able to help. You helped me out last time without even knowing who I was. Just consider this me returning the favor." With that, Suchin placed a hand on Old Master Sun and began using his divine healing technique. Ruru freaked out. "Grandpa, what's going on?" "You look like you're in agony," Suchin replied coolly. "Just give it 2 seconds. You'll see." A moment later, Master Sun's wound vanished completely. Ruru's jaw dropped. "But he was shot. How did he heal that fast?" "Grandpa, we need to get you to a hospital." Master Sun cut her off, a huge smile on his face. "There's no need. I don't feel a thing. For the past 2 weeks, my body has felt so heavy and weak, I couldn't even cultivate properly. Now, after his treatment, I feel totally refreshed, light as a feather." Suchin nodded knowingly. "Just as I suspected. You've been practicing the Wanmang technique, haven't you? For the past 2 weeks, you've been unable to circulate your inner energy correctly. The more you tried to practice, the more exhausted and weighed down you felt. That can only mean one thing. Your technique is a counterfeit." Master Sun was floored. "A counterfeit? But someone gave it to me just a couple of weeks ago. Please, take a look and tell me if it's true." He handed the manual over to Suchin. After a careful read-through, Suchin spoke up. "The first half is perfectly sound, but the back half is riddled with critical errors. Got a pen? I'll fix it for you." He then quickly scribbled in some corrections, perfecting the entire sequence. "There. Perfect. The moment you start practicing this version, you'll feel the change." Master Sun, completely astonished, scanned the corrected manual. Finally, it all makes sense. He channeled his energy through a single punch and blasted a clean hole straight through a nearby wall. A random bystander yelled, "Hey, what do you think you're doing? That's public property." Master Sun just laughed with pure joy. "Young master, thank you. Thank you so much. You've done me an incredible service by perfecting this technique." Suchin gave a modest smile. "Oh, it was nothing. I mean, I did write the original myself, back when I was 10. My master had me doing drills like this daily. Cultivation really isn't as complicated as everyone makes it out to be. If you just pay close attention, you can even craft a technique perfectly suited for yourself." Master Sun responded, "That might sound simple coming from you, but for regular cultivators like us, that's a monumental task. Still, I have to say, I was incredibly fortunate to run into you today. Please, allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Sun Fu, the head of the Sun family from the capital, and this is my contact information." Suchin offered a polite smile and said, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Suchin." As he said it, he was thinking, the Sun family. They're a huge name in medicinal herbs. They could be incredibly useful when I need to find rare ingredients down the line. Just then, Ruru spoke up. "Grandpa, it's Shaoli on the phone. Don't you remember? We promised we'd partner with his Excellence Group. He wants to talk about the details." Old Master Sun's face darkened as he grumbled, "Shaoli. He's the one who gave me that worthless Mang technique, the same phony method that nearly sent me to an early grave. And now that punk has the audacity to call me for a chat." Suchin's curiosity was piqued. "So, Shaoli was the one who gave you that technique?" Old Master Sun nodded grimly. He was. "The beauty industry here in Tangui City has been exploding recently. So, we figured we'd get in on the action. We heard that Shaoli's Excellence Group is a major player around here, which is why we reached out to them about a potential partnership. He's the one who offered me that technique, and while I couldn't figure out his angle, I felt obligated to at least consider his proposal." Ruru's brow furrowed in concern. "So, wait, Grandpa. Are you saying Shaoli doesn't really want to partner with us? That he gave you a bad technique on purpose just to mess with you? If that's the case, then meeting him sounds like a terrible idea. Master Suchin, you're so powerful. Would you be willing to go with my grandfather to meet this Shaoli? I just know he'd be safe if you were there with him. And please, don't worry, we'll make it worth your while. We'll pay you very well for your time." Suchin shook his head, his voice calm. "This isn't about money. I would have helped you for nothing. The problem is, Shaoli and I, we have a history. You're trying to partner with my rival, so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to interfere. You did me a favor at the antique shop, and by helping you today, I consider that debt repaid. So, I should be on my way now. If our paths are meant to cross again, they will." He started to walk away, but then paused. "Oh, and don't worry. That technique Shaoli gave you wasn't intentionally malicious. The person who designed it was simply ignorant, which led to some critical flaws. It was incompetence, not malice." After he left, Old Master Sun turned to Ruru and spoke gently. "Ruru, that was a little rash. A true master like him has no interest in money. To even bring up payment to someone of his stature is, frankly, an insult. For people like Suchin, worldly wealth is meaningless. They could amass a fortune in the blink of an eye if they wanted to, but money itself has no real value to them. If you ever have the honor of meeting someone of his caliber again, you must remember, never, ever mention money. We're fortunate that he's a kind and gracious person. If he had been offended, wiping out our entire Sun family would have been trivial for him." He then stood up and said, "All right, let's go see this Shaoli. We'll just have to be on our guard." As Suchin watched them go, he thought to himself, "It's a small and bizarre world. You take one wrong turn, and suddenly you're tangled up with the exact people you were trying to avoid. In any case, I need to wrap up this Mang family business fast so I can get back to collecting my herbs." A short while later, Suchin is seen arriving at the Dream Group office. Suchin, looking surprised, said, "Rosie, hold on a second. Did you just say you need Mr. Sunfu's contact information? What for?" Rosie started to explain, "The head of the Sun family is in Tanchu City, all the way from the capital, looking to break into the beauty market. Whoever lands a partnership with him gets a direct line to the capital's market, which is a massive opportunity. The only problem is, I don't have many connections outside of Tanchu City, so I haven't had any luck tracking down his contact details." A small smile played on Suchin's lips as he handed her a piece of paper. "Here you go, his contact info." Rosie's eyes went wide. "Wait a minute, is this for real? Is this actually Sunfu's number? Suchin, you're not pulling my leg, are you? This is really the head of the Sun family?" Suchin replied calmly, "The number is on the paper. You're holding your phone. Why don't you give it a call and find out for yourself?" Then, he thought to himself, "I swore I wouldn't get mixed up in this again. But when Rosie asked me for help like that, how could I possibly say no?" The following day, at Tanki Villa, Shaoli and Zimming showed up for their business meeting. Shaoli remarked, "Mr. Sun turned down our first invitation, but now he's suddenly asking to meet us here. I have to wonder what changed." Zimming let out a little laugh. He must have scouted every other company in town and figured out that while there are plenty of decent ones, we're the cream of the crop. After all, nobody else has a boss as brilliant as you. Shaoli shot him a nasty look. "Save the flattery. You think I've forgotten about the financial hole your son dug for me? If we don't lock down this deal with Mr. Sun today, you can start packing your desk." Zimming, breaking out in a nervous sweat, stammered, "Don't you worry, boss. I've handled all the arrangements. Besides, this whole mess is the Mang family's fault. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in this situation to begin with." Right on cue, Rosie and Suchin walked up to the villa. Xiaoli's eyes widened in mock surprise. "Well, look what the cat dragged in. President Mang, to what do we owe the pleasure? Let me guess. You're here to try and pitch your company to Mr. Sun, aren't you? You can give it your best shot, but I hate to break it to you, he's already chosen us. You're a little late to the party. Rosie replied coolly. We'll see about that, won't we? Time has a way of revealing things. Mr. Sun personally invited me, so the real question is, what are you times doing here? Xiaoli, with a smug grin plastered on his face, said, Ma'am, I'm here to finalize the collaboration between Excellence Group and Sun Corporation. I've already had a private, one-on-one meeting with Mr. Sun, so my presence here is perfectly logical. You, on the other hand, crashing the party uninvited? Now that's times what doesn't add up. Oh, come on, President Mang, don't embarrass yourself. If your white and lovely cream hadn't been such a spectacular failure, maybe Mr. Sun would have given you the time of day. But after that train wreck, you honestly believe he'd waste a second on you? You're just setting yourself up for humiliation, and frankly, I'm here for it. Rosie met his gaze, her voice dripping with confidence. Then let's see who ends up with egg on their face, shall we? Inside, she was thinking, it looks like he has no idea I've already spoken with Mr. Sun. That explains his ridiculous overconfidence. Just then, the door swung open, and Mr. Sun and Ruru emerged. Xiaoli immediately put on a polite smile. Mr. Sun, it's wonderful to see you. Sun Fu replied flatly. President Xiao, what are you doing here? Ruru, didn't I tell you to inform him our partnership was cancelled? Rosie instantly understood that Xiaoli was completely out of the loop. Xiao's face was a mask of shock. Cancelled? When did this happen? Mr. Sun looked at his granddaughter. Ruru, explain this. Ruru bowed her head in apology. I'm so sorry, Grandpa. It completely slipped my mind to inform President Xiao. Sun Fu stepped forward. President Xiao, please accept our apologies for this misunderstanding. Don't worry, my driver is waiting to take you home safely. Xiaoli protested, but Mr. Sun, why would you cancel? You said you wanted to break into the Tangu City beauty market, and everyone knows Excellence Group is the top choice. So why would you pick someone else over us? Sun Fu's expression grew cold. President Xiao, that's enough. Do you want to know the real reason I decided against working with you? It's because you're suffering from a massive delusion of grandeur. You think you're untouchable. That arrogance will be your ruin. And that is precisely why we have chosen to partner with the Dream Group instead. He then turned to Rosie, his expression softening into a calm smile. President Mang, my apologies for making you wait. Rosie quickly replied, Oh no, not at all. There's no need to apologize. I must admit, I was surprised. We only spoke on the phone yesterday, yet you've already decided to partner with us. What made you come to a decision so quickly? Sun Fu explained, After our call, I did a thorough review of your company's profile. I was very impressed with everything I saw, but the deciding factor is the man standing right next to you. I owe him a great debt, and since you are his wife, that means I can place my complete trust in you. Rosie was taken aback. Wife? Wait a minute, are you talking about Suchen? Meanwhile, Suchen was thinking to himself, this old man is a sharp one. Having me and Xiaoli show up at the exact same time was no accident. He obviously orchestrated this whole scene to humiliate Xiaoli publicly, making it crystal clear that he's cut all ties with him. It's a clever move to earn my complete trust. A slight smile touched Suchen's lips as he said to Rosie, What's on your mind? Everything is settled. All that's left is to sign the contract. Mr. Sun nodded in agreement. It will be a pleasure doing business with you. Rosie replied with confidence, and I assure you, we won't let you down. Meanwhile, Xiaoli stood by, absolutely seething with rage as he watched the exchange. Ruru stepped forward politely. President Xiao, your car is here. You can leave whenever you're ready. As Xiao turned and walked away, he muttered venomously under his breath, Mang Rosie, you've made a huge mistake. It might not be today, but one day soon I'll make you regret this. And when I do, it's gonna hurt, big time. Suchin let out a quiet chuckle. My car's exhaust has got nothing on the steam coming off Xiaoli's back right now. Xiaoli whipped around, his face a mask of fury. Suchin, you are not getting away with this. Just then, Ziming stepped forward, trembling. President Xiao, please, wait. Whatever happens, please don't fire me over this. But it was too late. Xiao's bodyguards grabbed Ziming by the arms. Xiaoli snarled, a man who can't even do his job right. I don't just fire people like that from my company, I erase them from the world. Because trash like this doesn't deserve to exist. He turned to his guard, his voice ice cold. Bring him in. Make sure Xiao Ziming is taken care of. Later, Secretary Liu received some terrible news. Xiao Ziming was dead. Suchin was in shock. What? Ziming is dead? But we just saw him today. What happened to him? Rosie asked, completely alarmed. And why do you look so worried? Secretary Liu explained, Ziming handled all the loans for our company. We just discovered that 8 months ago, he secretly took out a loan without telling anyone in management, and now he's dead. Before he could repay it, I asked a friend to look into his whereabouts, and she just called me. They found his body sealed inside a wall at a construction site. Suchin frowned. Getting rid of Ziming like that? It's bizarre. Something feels really off here, Rosie sighed. Now that he's dead, there's nothing we can do about it. We need to focus on securing a new loan immediately. Secretary Liu added, we've been waiting for Mr. Hua for over an hour. I wonder when he's going to show up. Right on cue, Mr. Hua walked in. Rosie said with a hint of relief, finally, you're here. Mr. Hua frowned. On my way here, I heard you were complaining about me being late, so let's just do this. If working with me is such a problem for you, then we won't be working together at all. Go find your loan somewhere else. Rosie quickly interjected, Mr. Hua, you're overreacting. There's no issue, but Hua held up a hand. I don't have time for this. You've got 10 minutes. Tell me exactly what you need, how much, and why. If your reasoning makes sense, I'll approve the loan right away. Rosie turned to her secretary. Show him the papers. Then she explained, Mr. Hua, our dream group has started several new, large-scale projects. Each project is valued in the billions, and for our next development, we only need a $300 million loan. Once our new product launches, we'll be able to repay you in full immediately. Mr. Hua said, examining the documents. These papers actually look pretty good. Secretary Liu, irritated, thought to herself, I'm sure that creep wasn't even looking at the papers. As Hua read through the documents, he muttered, they're working on some impressive projects, but their cash flow is weak. That's why they're struggling. Mr. Xiao was right. If they manage to get the money, they'll pull it off easily. That means I have to make sure they never get this loan. As long as I'm here, I'll make sure no bank in this city lends them a single cent. Saying that, he tossed the papers across the table. Hua said arrogantly, what's the point of looking at these? I've already reviewed your situation, and I don't see anything of value. 8 months ago, your company took a $300 million loan, and you haven't repaid it yet. So, tell me, on what basis should I approve another one? Rosie thought angrily, this must be the work of that lowlife. Zimming. He and his son have caused us nothing but problems. Hua smirked. It's not just me. No bank in this city will lend you money. And if any of them tries, I'll personally make sure they don't. Let's see how you manage to finish your project without funds. Rosie said firmly, but, Mr. Hua, why are you doing this? It's only been 8 months. That's not a long time for a $300 million loan. I promised to repay it within a year, and there are still 4 months left. So, how can you stop us from borrowing again and even pressure other companies to refuse us? Hua smiled wickedly. I'm sorry, President Mang, but there's nothing I can do for you. Unless you come to my house tonight, then maybe we can discuss the loan more privately. Secretary Liu, furious, snapped, Mr. Hua, you should focus on your job instead of running that filthy mouth of yours. Hua laughed sleazily. President Mang, earning $300 million shouldn't be hard for someone with your assets. You're the most beautiful CEO in the entire city. I'm sure plenty of men would be willing to give you the money. You just have to offer them the right price. And if no one else is available, I'm always willing to give you the full amount myself. Just don't forget my offer. Hua, who was standing nearby, finally spoke up. You look like a guy who's never been punched in the face. He smirked. Oh, getting angry now? Go ahead, take a shot. Let's see if you've got the nerve to lay a finger on me in my own office. Rosie quickly jumped in. Suchin, don't. He's trying to get a rise out of you. It's totally obvious he's working for our competition. If you touch him, he'll call the cops immediately, she warned. Suchin said coldly, I'm a man who believes in civility. I wouldn't dirty my hands on a piece of garbage like him. Hua sneered. What's wrong? Lose your nerve. Tough words don't scare me. If you've really got guts, then hit me. Suchin smiled faintly. If that's really what you want, I'll be happy to grant your wish. He lifted his hand ever so slightly, and with an imperceptible flick of his energy, the chandelier's chains snapped. The heavy fixture came plummeting down, crashing right on top of Hua. Secretary Liu gasped in utter shock. How did the chandelier just fall? Suchin replied with unnerving calm. Sometimes, Secretary Liu, it's better not to talk so much. Even the gods get sick of hearing nonsense. Mr. Hua, I don't think we'll be meeting again, considering you're about to be turned into a pancake. Hua screamed in a panic, pinned under the twisted metal. Please, don't leave me. Call an ambulance. I'm begging you. Suchin crouched down beside him. Sorry, Mr. Hua, but you did just insult my wife and then refuse to help us. So you tell me, why should I help you? By the way, that chandelier is incredibly heavy. When a massive object crushes your body like this, your blood flow will just stop. Your body will become paralyzed, and if help doesn't arrive soon, you're going to check out. Besides, this is a VIP room completely soundproof. Even if you scream your head off, no one is going to hear you. You're about to have a very messy, very painful exit. Oh, hold on. I just remembered. We have some important business to attend to. Let's go, Rosie. Hua cried out desperately. Please, don't go. I'll approve the loan. I take back everything I said. I'm not even a person. I'm a dog for speaking badly about Rosie. But it wasn't all my idea. Someone else told me to do it. Please, forgive me. Suchin turned back slowly. In that case, sign the contract right now. Then, I'll decide if I feel like calling an ambulance. 15 minutes later, after Hua had scribbled his signature on the papers, Suchin finally called for help. Rosie sighed in relief. Well, we got the money. But it feels strange, like we didn't just get a loan. Secretary Lu nodded. Yeah, what kind of loan comes with 0% interest? It doesn't feel like borrowing. It feels like we just strong-armed him. Suchin chuckled. Why are you both looking at me like that? The man was spouting nonsense, and it seems even the heavens got tired of listening to him. So, the chandelier fell on its own. I didn't do a thing. Just then, Suchin's phone buzzed with a message. He muttered, I've got something to take care of. I'll be back soon. Rosie frowned. But where exactly are you going? Suchin replied calmly. To collect some good karma. You never know when it'll come in handy. Rosie watched him leave, thinking to herself, this guy is a complete mystery. Him getting angry that moment and the chandelier falling on Mr. Hua, Right afterward? That can't be a coincidence. The more I think about him, the more mysterious and fascinating he seems. The scene shifts to the forensics department. Mr. Jiang said, Mr. Suchin, I called you here because we found something strange regarding the man buried at my house. The way he was put in the ground is an exact match to another body we found earlier. It looks like both jobs were done by the same person. Suchin replied, maybe the killer is the same, maybe not. But the mastermind behind these deaths is definitely one and the same. Jiang leaned forward. Mr. Suchin, do you have any idea who it could be? Suchin said seriously, I can't be completely sure, but I have my suspicions. And if I'm right about who it is, he'll be behind bars very soon. The scene cuts to Xiaoli's hideout. Liao rushed in trembling. Boss, please, you gotta save me. Xiaoli frowned. You're saying Suchin threatened you? Liao nodded quickly. Yes. I don't know much about him, but that guy is terrifying. He uses some kind of weird magic, and he took down everyone at the Shingle Guild all by himself. He even left this mark on my arm, and whenever I even think about betraying him, the pain becomes unbearable. Suddenly, Liao grimaced in agony as the same burning sensation flared up across his body. Out of nowhere, a beam of light flashed and completely destroyed the mark on Liao's arm. A man's cold voice echoed from behind them. Using weak little tricks like this, only cowards rely on such methods. Startled, Liao whipped around. What the? The mark? It vanished. Xiaoli glanced up. Sheki, what brings you here? Sheki just smirked. After spending all day cleaning up your messes, don't you think I deserve a 5-minute break? Xiaoli quickly waved his hands, looking flustered. No, that's not it at all. I was just wondering. Can you handle this Su Chen guy for me? Glancing at the faint mark on Li Hao's arm, Sheki scoffed. This is some low-grade amateur hour stuff. Whoever did this barely understands the basics of energy manipulation. And as for this Su Chen character, I've never even heard the name. One thing's for sure, he doesn't belong to any major sect. He's probably just some self-taught nobody, and people like that are a dime a dozen. You already know how my master and I feel about these self-taught wannabes. They think they're clever, so we make it our business to put them down personally. Xiaoli's grin turned sinister. So, does that mean you'll take care of him for me? That jerk has been a thorn in my side ever since he showed up in town. I want him gone, name, body, everything, completely erased. The scene then cuts to a derelict factory. Su Chen walked through the rusted gates. Li Hao, why'd you call me all the way out here? Li Hao forced a nervous smile. Boss, you made it. That mark you put on my arm. It just disappeared on its own. I freaked out and called you immediately. Su Chen sighed. You dragged me all the way out here for that. Fine, let me see what's going on. Li Hao raised his arm, and a strange, glowing formation suddenly appeared on his skin. Su Chen's eyes narrowed. A formation. Li Hao yelled. I've got him. Start the ritual. In an instant, Sheki slammed the factory door shut, sealing it tight. He let out a cold laugh. I knew it. These self-taught types are always so full of themselves. It's way too easy to bait them into a trap like this. Su Chen's expression hardened. So, this was your grand plan? To trap me? Sheki shot back. Not trap you. End you. Honestly, it almost feels like a waste of effort to set all this up for a rat like you. But whatever. At least now, you'll get a front row seat to see what a real, properly trained cultivator can do. Su Chen smirked. And here I was, thinking I'd finally found a decent challenge after all this time. But you're just weak. My master was right all along. There's only a handful of true martial artists left in this world. The rest of you so-called cultivators are just a bunch of sheep, blindly following the crowd. With that, Su Chen raised his hand, and a massive dragon formed from pure spiritual energy erupted into existence. It let out a deafening roar as it slammed into Sheki's serpent, obliterating it in a single, devastating blow. Sheki's eyes went wide with disbelief. Impossible. How could this? Before he could even finish his sentence, the dragon lunged forward and slammed into him, knocking him out cold. Terrified, Li Hao stammered, What just happened? Su Chen stepped toward him, his gaze icy. What happened? Nothing. Yet, this was just the warm-up. Your buddy over there got exactly what was coming to him. Now, it's your turn. You tried to sell me out, and now I'm going to show you what happens to traitors. Li Hao collapsed to his knees. Please, master, don't finish me. I'll tell you everything about Xiaoli and the others. He's working with a guy named Song Men, one of the biggest threats to the entire martial arts world in Tangui City. You have no idea what they're plotting. Suddenly, Li Hao's body began to convulse violently. Sheki's weak voice echoed through the factory. I knew you'd crack under pressure. That's why I planted a curse seal inside you. The second you tried to betray us, it would activate. Li Hao let out a final scream and then fell silent. Su Chen frowned. So, he's gone. Just then, officers Dao Chan and Xiao Su burst into the factory. Su Chen turned to them calmly. You two sure took your sweet time getting here. It's all over. Come on, I'll give you a hand with the cleanup, Xiao Su asked. It's really over already? Dao Chan replied. Doctor. Jiang told us we were supposed to be working with Su Chen on this case. We've been on standby waiting for his call for the last 36 hours. No rest, no sleep. And when he finally calls, we rush over here, only to find out there was nothing left for us to do. Su Chen had already taken care of everything himself. Later, back at the police station, Dao Chan was interrogating a man. Tell me the truth. What's your connection to Xiao Zhiming's death? Sheki, with an arrogant smirk, replied, Xiao Zhiming was a piece of trash. Even if he were still breathing, what could he possibly do? He's gone now, and the world is a little bit cleaner without him in it. And honestly, who even cares who offed him? Officer, you have no clue who you're messing with. You should be more worried about your own skin. As soon as my master finds out you've got me locked up in here, he'll come for you himself, and he's going to make you experience a level of terror you can't even begin to imagine. And he'll completely erase you from this world. Over at Su Chen's place, Dao Chan and Xiao Su were meeting with him. Xiao Su asked anxiously, Master Su, what happens if his master actually comes knocking? Dao Chan and I are way out of our league against a cultivator of that caliber. Do you have a plan to stop him? Su Chen just gave a small nod. You're not wrong. Against a true cultivator, you two wouldn't last a second. But don't you worry, I'll get things ready. He then lifted his foot, drawing a bright, glowing line in front of the door. There, that should do it. Nobody in the entire city of Tongui can get past this line. Not even if his master or his father shows up. They still won't have a prayer of breaking through. The scene cuts to Xiaoli's office, where he was looking over the report on Shekji's arrest before slamming his fist on the desk. He was fuming. What in the world is happening? That useless bum, Sheki, couldn't even take care of Su Chen. Absolutely pathetic. Right then, his phone started ringing. He took a quick look at the screen. It was Liang's father, calling yet again. He let out a frustrated sigh. Of course, it's him again. I told him I'd help train the Mang family. I figured it was a good way to get on their good side. But instead, I just keep dropping the ball, and now I'm hearing Leon's getting worse by the day. It's no surprise his old man is seeing red. I should probably just lay low for a few days. Besides, this whole Leong situation isn't even my problem. Why should I get sucked into this mess? Still, I should at least give the others a heads up about what happened to Sheki. A woman's voice suddenly spoke from his phone. Mr. Xiao, is something wrong? If you're calling about Sheki, you can relax. The master and I are already aware of the situation. My senior brother and I will be in the city shortly to handle this Su Qin problem for good. You've been our financial backer for years. We're not about to let anything happen to you. Xiao Li shot back impatiently. So what's your master up to? Is he too busy to even take a phone call? The woman calmly replied, the master is currently in deep cultivation. It requires time to properly analyze the energy signatures of so many individuals. She then turned and spoke respectfully to her master. Master, senior brother and I are leaving now to go rescue Sheki. The master responded, very well, bring him back in one piece. And remember, no matter what, you are not to take a life. The scene then shifts to the police station, where the woman, a catgirl cultivator, was looking around with disdain. I can't believe they actually nabbed Sheki. He's a practitioner of the mystic arts. How could a bunch of regular cops possibly catch him? Suddenly, she froze as she sensed something. I can feel Sheki's energy. It's coming from that room over there. As she got closer, she noticed a faint, glowing line drawn on the floor outside the cell. She scowled. So, this is where they've got him locked up. That line was drawn by an incredibly powerful master. That has to be why Sheki can't escape. But it makes no difference who that master is. No one here is more powerful than me. She started to gather her energy for an attack, but in an instant, a spiritual dragon burst forth from the glowing line. The catgirl staggered backward, completely stunned. What? A formation? Senior brother Lon, I need your help. As they were dealing with the dragon, police officers started swarming the building. The catgirl hissed, if we stick around, we're going to get caught. And the master's orders were clear. No killing. We have to fall back, now. Lon argued, but what about Sheki? She shot him a death glare. We can't save him if we're 6 feet under. Let's get out of here first, and we'll come up with a new plan for him later. With that, they cast a teleportation spell and vanished into thin air. The scene cuts back to Su Chen's house. Su Chen and Grandpa Mang were in the middle of a chess game when Rosie's mother walked in with a bright smile. Look who I brought with me. This is Rosie's cousin, Yan Sha Sha. She spent the last few years overseas training in kickboxing and just got back last week. Yen Sha offered a polite smile. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, Rosie's mom continued. You know, these days, you can't be too careful. We all saw what happened with that lowlife Li Dong, right? That's precisely why I brought Sha over. She's going to be Rosie's bodyguard from this day forward. Grandpa Mang let out a chuckle. But what does Rosie need a bodyguard for? She's got Su Chin, doesn't she? He can protect her perfectly well. Su Chin smiled humbly. Grandpa, I really don't mind. I've been pretty tied up lately, helping the police with a few cases, so I can't be with Rosie all the time. Having someone watching over her would honestly put my mind at ease. Rosie's mom scoffed loudly. Oh, so you're helping the police now, are you? Do you even hear yourself when you start bragging like that? Honestly, Su Chin, could you please stop with the crazy talk in this house? Just then, Rosie walked in. Mom, is this Shasha? Her mother smiled warmly. Yes, Shasha came all this way just for you. I've asked her to stay on as your bodyguard, so we won't have to be concerned about your safety anymore. Besides, you two are cousins, so you should get along just fine. Shasha stepped forward, sizing up Suchin. So, you're Suchin, he replied politely. I am. Was there something you needed? Shasha crossed her arms. No, not particularly. My aunt was just telling me all about you. Honestly, I didn't want anything to do with this, but now that I'm seeing you for myself, I can tell you one thing for sure. You are nowhere near good enough for my cousin Rosie. She's driven and completely focused on her future. And you? You just look like some freeloader mooching off her success. I could never stand by and watch my cousin throw her life away on someone like you. Suchin replied calmly, his eyes narrowing slightly. Whether we're talking about martial arts or judging character, you're not nearly as sharp as you seem to think. Grandpa chuckled quietly to himself. Ha, he sure put her in her place with that one. Suchin's really enjoying this. Suchin then stood up and said, let me guess. You've been training in strength-based techniques for a long time, right? Take a piece of free advice. Drop them and focus on speed-based skills instead. Because the second you run into an opponent who's even remotely on your level, you won't last 10 moves. Learn it from me now, before the world teaches you the hard way. Fuming, Shasha snapped. What did you just say to me? Inside, she thought, Aunt Lin was right. This guy's arrogance is off the charts. Just then, Suchin's expression shifted. He could feel it. Someone's trying to break the seal I left at the police station. I have to go. The regular officers won't stand a chance against whoever this is. Suchin pulled out a small, faintly glowing talisman and handed it to Rosie. No matter what happens, keep this on you. I have some urgent business to take care of, but I'll be back soon. This talisman will protect you from any harm. Rosie nodded. It's getting late, so please be careful. Her mother muttered under her breath, normal people stay home at night, but this boy is always running off into the darkness. What could he possibly be up to out there? Meanwhile, outside, Lan stood watching the Mang mansion from a distance, thinking to himself, Brother Shaoli said this is where that punk Suchin lives. Back inside, Rosie's mom said anxiously, See, I told you we can't trust him. I mean, tell me, what kind of man just sneaks out late at night without a word? Just then, Brother Lan appeared at their front door. I believe I just heard you mention the name Suchin. Looks like I'm in the right place. Shasha stepped in front of the others. Who are you? Lan just smirked and unleashed a powerful burst of spiritual energy. Tell Suchin to get out here, or you'll all pay the price. He then let out a sonic shockwave that sent the entire room into a violent tremor. Grandpa clutched his head. What? What is that noise? It feels like my head is splitting open. Suddenly, the protective talisman Suchin had given Rosie began to glow, creating a spiritual barrier that enveloped them all. Rosie gasped. So this is what Suchin's talisman does. It's protecting us. Her mother sighed in relief. My headache. It's gone. Lan frowned. Only one of you girls has any real power. The rest are just regular people. How in the world did they block my attack? Shasha stepped forward, cracking her knuckles. You talk way too much. Let's see if your jaw can handle one of my punches. She lunged, landing a solid blow right across Lan's face. Lan just laughed mockingly. Was that it? You seriously thought a pathetic little punch like that could shut me up? Shasha's eyes widened in pure disbelief. What? Why didn't my attack have any effect? Lan's grin turned sinister. Allow me to demonstrate what a real attack feels like. He grabbed her by the arm and violently threw her across the room, slamming her into the floor over and over again. Rosie's mom screamed, Shasha, my dear. Shasha groaned in pain, thinking, I've been a kickboxer for over 10 years. He's not that much stronger than me, physically. And yet, I didn't last a single second. Could Suchin have been right all along? Maybe strength-based techniques really are the wrong path for me. Lan roared, Where is Suchin? Tell him to come out and face me. Right on cue, Suchin emerged from the shadows. So, you're the one I was on my way to the police station to see, and now you've brought the party right to my front door. Fine, then. Consider this a housewarming gift. He raised his leg and unleashed a spiritual kick, slamming Lan straight into the ground and pinning him there with overwhelming force. Suchin then turned to the officers who were just arriving behind him. Take care of the rest. We've got the woman, and now we have him too. Question them both thoroughly. Rose's mom rushed over to him, exclaiming, Suchin, you're back. Suchin offered a small smile, and just in the nick of time. If I'd been a few minutes later, this goon would have been tossing you all over the place just like he did to Shasha. Her mother blinked, confused. So, you're actually working with the police? Suchin nodded. That's right. For now, these two officers are on my team. Shasha, still on the floor, thought to herself. My master always said that modern martial artists are a pale shadow of the masters of old. He said there was a time when a single kick from a true master could shatter mountains. They didn't need to prove their power. You could feel it just by being in their presence. And he told me, the day you meet someone whose strength you can't even begin to measure, that's when you'll have found a true master. Shasha got to her feet and hesitantly asked, Su Chen, you said that techniques based on raw power are useless for me. Are you really saying I should give up the martial arts style I've always known? Su Chen replied calmly, you just went up against Lan, right? He also depends on brute force techniques. And let's be honest, he's nothing special, just your run-of-the-mill fighter. You couldn't even properly counter 3 of his moves. If you keep second-guessing every single step, you'll stay stuck right where you are. Stop wasting your time and start focusing on what's actually important. Lowering her head, Shah said softly, Senior, please forgive my arrogance. My own pride blinded me, but your words have opened my eyes. Please, show me the path I should follow in my training. I trust you completely. I know that whatever you teach me will be the right way. Rosie, completely shocked, thought, hold on. Is Shasha actually bowing to him? Her mother frowned, completely bewildered. Shasha, what in the world do you think you're doing? A faint smile touched Suchin's lips. I have to admit, you're quite sensible. The people who can see their own faults and fix them are the only ones who ever truly get ahead in life. Some people just make empty promises, but you've chosen to actually grow. Considering your background, that's pretty impressive. You've shown real wisdom, so I'll forgive you and teach you a technique that's a perfect fit for you. Shasha gasped as a current of knowledge flooded her mind. He's transferring the technique directly into my consciousness. My master once said that only someone far beyond the level of a grandmaster could ever do something like this. This means Suchin isn't just strong, he's a living legend. A true master is teaching me himself. I can't believe how lucky I am. Suchin said firmly, you're a hard worker, I'll give you that. If you focus on your speed and precision, you'll see your skills improve much more quickly. The technique I just gave you is built entirely on that principle. If you train correctly, you'll soon be able to take down fighters like Lan without breaking a sweat. Shasha smiled gratefully. Thank you, master. I promise I will give it everything I have. Rosie, still in a daze, thought, what in the world just happened? Suchin placed his hand on her head, and now she's calling him master too? He must be seriously dangerous. That's why everyone ends up submitting to him. All the good things that have happened to our family. It's all because of Su Chen. Ross's mom, however, was not buying it. Honey, what are you doing? This boy is playing you for a fool. Don't be so naive. I don't know what kind of tricks he's pulling, but he's made everyone in this house lose their minds. First Dad, then Rosie, and now you. Shasha stood up straight and said firmly, Auntie, I can put up with a lot, but I will not stand here and let you insult the man who helped me. You just don't get it. Even after hearing you badmouth him, he stood there silently and showed incredible restraint. That's a sign of his true character. On the way over here, you said some awful things about him, and I was foolish enough to believe you. I actually thought he was some kind of cruel, selfish monster. But now I see just how wrong we both were. In fact, you're the one who owes him an apology. Open your eyes. It's perfectly clear that he saved your family. If he hadn't shown up tonight, have you even thought about what would have happened to all of you? Rose's mom stammered. I was only saying what I believe is true about Su Chen. Just then, Dao Chan walked in and reported, Master Su, we have the targets in custody. We're taking them downtown now. Su Chen nodded. Good. I'll swing by the station in the morning. Rosie watched silently, lost in thought. First it was Mr. Wong, then Director Jiang, and after that, it was Mr. Sunday. Every single one of them respects Su Chen so deeply. Even the officers from the department talk to him like he's their boss, as if he's the one actually in charge. Why does everyone treat him with so much respect? Who is Su Chen, really? And what is he actually capable of? Su Chen then turned to Grandpa and said, Grandpa, be sure to take the medicine I prepared for you right on schedule. The poison in your system has been neutralized, but it's left you quite weak. If you continue taking the medicine consistently, you'll be back on your feet in no time. Grandpa smiled warmly. My boy, you truly care about this old man, Rosie's mom muttered under her breath. Su Chen really knows how to get on Dad's good side. He always says the perfect thing. But Rosie had heard enough. Mom, what is your deal with Su Chen? Why are you always looking for a reason to put him down? When our family business was about to go under, he was the one who saved it. When Grandpa was knocking on death's door, he saved him. Well, and now, he's the one managing his recovery every single day. After all he's done for our family, why do you still resent him so much? What more could you possibly want from him? She stormed out in a fury. Her mother called after her, Rosie, why are you getting so upset? Then continued her attack. He's just tricking you. 3 days later, Sushin frowned and asked the officers, so, after 3 days of interrogation, you've come up with nothing? Xiaosu replied, Lon and Catgirl are still out cold from your little visit. They haven't stirred once in 3 days. And that she guy, he's as stubborn as a mule. We gave him a serious tune-up, and his face is swollen up like a balloon. But he still hasn't uttered a single word. We've put out a reward. Anyone with information on the Songqin men or their associates gets $100,000. Just then, a woman walked in. Officer, I need to report a crime. Xiao looked up, surprised. You're Manhwa, aren't you? President of Black Flower Bank. Manhwa nodded. Yes, that's right. I heard you're seeking information on the Songqin men. I happen to know a great deal about them, but I'm not interested in the reward money. I'm here because I need your help with a personal matter. For the last month, someone has been spying on me inside my own house. Whether I'm just getting a glass of water or sitting quietly, I constantly feel like I'm being watched. Please, you have to help me catch this person, Suchin said calmly. So, you have an intruder lurking in your house. We can certainly help you with that. Ranhua's voice trembled. It all began about a month ago. At first, I thought I was just imagining it, that I was just overworked or paranoid. But at night, around 2 or 3 in the morning, when the house is completely silent, I can hear footsteps. Sometimes, I even hear what sounds like someone crying, almost calling for me. I tried to ignore it at first, but one night, I finally worked up the courage to leave my room. And that's when I saw it, a shadowy figure moving around in the living room. From that night on, I knew it wasn't just in my head. Every single night since, that figure appears and just sits in front of a painting and cries. He never steals anything. He doesn't touch a single object. He just sits there and weeps. After a week of this, I couldn't stand it anymore. I wasn't getting any sleep. I couldn't think straight. So, I finally tried to confront him, but he was too powerful. He took me down with a single blow. The wound he gave me still hasn't healed, and now I'm too terrified to face him again. Suchin considered this for a moment. So, this person breaks into your house at night, sits in front of a painting, and just cries. He doesn't take or damage anything, despite your wealth. How interesting, he mused. When you fought him, did you get a look at his face? Ranhua shook her head. It was around 2 or 3 in the morning. I was so scared that I didn't even think to turn on the lights. In the chaos, I never saw his face. Suchin said, You said he injured you. May I see the wound? Ranhua hesitated for a moment, then lifted her shirt just enough to reveal a deep scar on her abdomen. Xiao gasped, That's a nasty wound. Suchin examined it closely. This isn't from a normal weapon. An ordinary person wouldn't be able to do anything for an injury like this. All right, I'll go with you. We'll take care of this ghostly thief tonight. They soon arrived at her luxurious mansion. Ranhua whispered nervously, Officer, if that thing attacks again, you have to protect me. Suchin paid no mind to her fear, stepping forward to study the artwork. So, this is the painting. Ranhua nodded. Yes, officer. Did you hear that? I think I just heard a noise from the bedroom. Suchin scanned the room carefully. Miss Hua, your home is equipped with a top-of-the-line security system. There's no way a stranger could get in without setting off an alarm. Ranhua's voice quivered. Then, who has been visiting me every night for the past month? Suchin turned his attention back to the painting. Take a closer look at the shadow within this painting. Doesn't that look exactly like the one that shows up at night? Ranhua's eyes widened. Yes, it does, Ra said. That's the very same shadow I see every single night. But what does that prove? Suchin replied calmly. It proves the shadow you've been seeing isn't a person at all. It's an illusion born from years of pain and sorrow, and the very thing that gave birth to it is this painting. Ranhua, annoyed, said, Officer, are you messing with me? This painting you're referring to is called the Rising Sun Map. It's a masterpiece created by the artist Wang at the absolute peak of his career, when he was at the height of his success. So why would he paint something so full of sadness? Suchin gestured toward the painting. Look closely. You see a man staring out at the horizon. But how can you tell if he's watching a sunrise or a sunset? Most people just assume it's a sunrise because it was painted during Wang's most successful period. They think it symbolizes a new beginning and positive energy. But what if it's actually a sunset? Then it would represent an ending, one full of despair and darkness. When Wang was at his peak, he had powerful support from the country's nobles. He painted a piece called The Drunken Imperial Concubine, which brought him worldwide fame and admiration. But that very same painting angered the emperor. The art that had once brought him glory became the reason for his downfall. Soon after that, Wang painted the Rising Sun Map. He used only black and white, no other colors, making it impossible to tell if it's dawn or dusk. But according to historical records, that period of his life was filled with immense grief. He knew that once he fell out of favor with the emperor, his final days were numbered. So, he poured all his sorrow and hatred into this final piece. And within a year of finishing it, the emperor had him executed. To this very day, the exact reason for his execution remains a mystery. Manhwa looked at him, surprised. Your knowledge is truly impressive. If we consider the historical context of the painting, then yes, your explanation actually makes a lot of sense. But still, how can we be certain he painted it out of grief and that it's really supposed to be a sunset? Chen smiled faintly. I wasn't completely sure at first either, but the energy flowing from this painting revealed everything. You'll understand what I mean in just a few seconds. He then released a surge of spiritual energy, causing the shadow from the painting to emerge and attack. Don't worry, Miss Lee. This is just the manifestation of the pain and hatred that's been trapped in this painting for centuries. It's not a real spirit, so it's not particularly strong. But since it's existed for so long, it can still harm ordinary people. Just bring me a sheet of high-quality paper and a brush. I'll handle the rest. Manhwa, startled but hopeful, said, Please, come with me. I have plenty of calligraphy tools in my study. Soon after, Chen prepared a purification seal using calligraphy. Manhwa asked nervously, Master, are you sure this will work? Chen replied, Try it first, then you'll believe. Manhwa approached the painting cautiously, her hands trembling. Please, God, let this work. As soon as she placed the calligraphy seal over the shadow, the dark figure began to fade, slowly disappearing. Chen smiled. I knew it would work. There, your problem is solved, Miss Lee. Now, about Shiki and his gang. You said you know their background. Tell me everything you know. Manhwa said, Yes, I was telling the truth. This all didn't just start today. It started 10 years ago. Very few people today know what really happened back then. Only a handful of chosen ones are aware of the truth. 10 years ago in Tangu City, a martial artist named Chen emerged. He was the #1 martial artist in the city and one of the most admired fighters in the entire region. Famous, respected, and unbeatable. But during one competition, he lost to a man who didn't belong to any school or faction, a man who had trained himself. Even without any formal guidance, that self-taught fighter was so skilled that he defeated Chen with ease. After that humiliating loss, Chen grew to hate self-taught martial artists. He started challenging every self-trained fighter he could find, and whoever he defeated, he killed. In the martial world, challenging others isn't wrong, it's tradition, but killing them in the name of a challenge, that was unforgivable. Soon, all the martial artists from Tinui City united to form an alliance, and together, they attacked Chen. The battle was brutal. Every major group out there lost their best fighters. But even with all that, they couldn't take down Chen. The best they could do was wound him badly and kick him out of the city for good. And to make sure he stayed gone, they put up a massive formation that's kept him locked away for 10 years. Sheki, Lan, Catgirl, and the rest of them, they are all students of Chen. Even with him gone, they've been secretly doing his dirty work all over the city. He had a total of 4 disciples. You've already nabbed 3 of them, which means the 4th one is probably coming for you next. That formation they made 10 years ago was only built to hold him for, well, 10 years. And that decade is just about up. Once that seal starts to fade, it won't be strong enough to hold Chen anymore. I'm positive that the second it shatters, he's going to come back looking for payback, and it's going to be a total disaster. Officer, my advice is to get ready now, before it's too late. Chen answered, So that's the whole deal with Chen and his crew. Manhwa nodded. Please, listen to me, lay low for the next couple of days. When Chen returns, you can ambush him. Chen just smirked. Lay low because of him? Yeah, I don't think so. If I'm going to catch that jerk, I'm going to have to make a little noise myself. I want to see with my own 2 eyes what this so-called monster is all about. A few days later, we're back at the very spot where Chen was beaten 10 years prior. Chen had trapped 3 of Chen disciples inside a ceiling formation, and the crowd nearby was whispering, Hey, aren't those the 3 criminals with the huge bounties on their heads? Another person replied, You don't know, those 3 are all disciples of Chen. 10 years ago, he got booted from the city, but the word on the street is he's on his way back. The authorities have already warned everyone to report anyone suspicious right away. From what I've heard, all 3 of them are students of Chen. I bet those officers are using them as bait to draw him out. Xiaozu turned to Chen and asked, Master Su, don't you think we're being a little too casual about this? We're just sitting here, basically taunting Chen. Chen smirked. That's the whole point. If losing to some random nobody wounded his pride so badly he went on a rampage, then openly mocking his students is guaranteed to make him lose his mind and come straight to us. Just then, a blast of energy erupted in front of them. Chen said, Looks like we've got a visitor from Chen crew. A man stepped forward. It was Hubang, another one of his disciples. Hubang demanded, Which one of you is Chen? Chen replied calmly, That would be me. Hubang glared. I can't believe Shay and the others actually lost to you. Guess they've been slacking off on their training lately. After I'm done with you, our master will make sure they're whipped back into shape. But before he could even finish his sentence, Chen decked him so hard he went airborne.